Andy, I've told him about looking at your crutch.
No, it's not looking at my crutch.
I tell you what, I had a full English for lunch today.
Oh, God.
What, you can see what he's had for lunch.
You'll be asleep.
That's exactly what I do feel proper sneezy.
Hello and welcome back to Flory Models, stroke PM Models. Fantastic. Hold on, I've got your little lines up on there. Let's get rid of that. I don't know how it does it. I'm using about 10 different monitors. Good afternoon. Welcome to our final instalment. For the next 3 hours, we are with you for our special Telford weekend event. If you haven't been with us, we've been on here since Friday night, with the odd break, admittedly, right the way through, and this is our final little segment. And I think the team's beginning to flag. It's the same mental knackeredness of doing it, but without the feet aching like mad.
Yeah.
But we've got bum ache instead because you sat down all the time doing this one.
Yeah.
So, yes.
At least I haven't got to drive home from Telford.
It is nice not to have the drive back and going back in the dark and all the horrible and all things like that. Anyway, if you haven't seen any of the shows before, you can watch them all as a recording, and looks like Robert's been doing that as well. He said just saw the Sander demo, very impressive. Thank you very much. So as I say, you can go back, watch all the other ones, and eventually I will get them edited, the demo sections, into individuals, and we'll put them up a little bit later. But to be honest with you, the way things are going at the moment with orders and all that type of thing, it's probably going to be the latter end of the week before I get anywhere near that. We all right, guys? Come on, keep going. 3 hours.
It's all right.
Come on.
I've had my second coffee, which I never do, and I feel actually all right.
I was going to say, I thought you're not allowed coffees.
Well, I'm not normally, but I'm either going to proper crash and I'll be useless, or I'll be hyper and not be able to sleep.
Look, if he's had 2 coffees, I know him. He'll be bouncing off the walls in a minute. He'll be like Tigger.
For anybody who knows me, I have like 1 coffee a day in the morning. That is it. I don't really drink hot drinks, but I did have one with my lunch, so I am feeling a bit.
He's all right. He's geared again. He'll be all right. Anyway, plan for this afternoon. I'm going to do a little bit of work with pigments with you. I'll also show you about seam scraping on something, Buster probably, and stuff like that. So that's the idea with that. And then Matt's going to follow up with part 2 of his figure painting, where he will be moving on to the oils. And by the power of me quickly scribbling it out on the system, we've got all the colours up for you that will appear on the screen. We're almost going to be professional. I say almost. Look, leaching his paints.
The leachy paint bit, which you have to do.
You do. Get your linseed oil out of your oils. So yes, so that's the plan for that one. And then obviously, please feel free to post up any questions, all the bits and pieces like that. And then we'll answer you as we make our way through. And then the final part of the show we'll just have as a bit of a free-for-all, I'm thinking, as we make our way along. So yes.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan. Everybody good in the live chat? So they're all right on the Flory live chat?
Yeah, Bob's just saying he knows we go to Telford annually, but why can't we do this once a year with the members? It's been great fun.
Well,
to be honest, we have been discussing this. Whilst we've been off air, we were actually saying that this could become an annual event.
Maybe not a
biannual event.
Maybe in May or something, though, eh?
Yes.
The weekend before Telford. Let's do it then.
Yeah, that's just what you need, isn't it? Jesus, I think I could cope with that. But no, it is funny because we were talking about how good this has been and how relaxing, and it's been great to talk to you guys live and demoing and doing all the things with it. We've thoroughly enjoyed it, thank you for supporting us. Obviously, with the sales and stuff like that, it means a lot because obviously without it, we've no revenue coming in from the Telford side of things this year. So it's been fantastic, and we love it and we like doing it.
Yeah.
Can I just call Andy a minute? Can you just have a look for Rob Wood for an F84F in 48? He did mail me and I've completely forgot, so I've just seen it on chat. So Andy's on it for you, Rob. So cool. Carry on. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I must
no
say
problem.
one thing. Hats off to the members in Australia, the States, Canada, etc., who are just like hours and hours away from GMT. Well done on staying up late or getting up early.
Yeah, some of you have really been amazing that you've stayed with us or been up through the night because obviously we're on the main time. We were saying for the turkey shoot in a couple of weeks' time, we'll be back doing this all again. We
Yeah.
will be doing them afternoon and evening shows because obviously we appreciate that it is for the US side of things. So we'll try and do the time zones it's more suitable for you guys to make our way through. So we'll be doing them from 2 in the afternoon until sort of 10 o'clock at night, doing that way so it fits in more with your time scale, shall we say.
And ours.
Well, yeah, and hours. That means we haven't got to fly out of bed, get done, food down your neck and back in here straight away. Plus the fact we do some orders and work in the morning as well.
Hey, what date is that going to be?
Okay.
Turkish weekend.
It's the end of November, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the end of November, isn't
It's
it?
Thanksgiving, isn't it? So
I think it's something like the 28th, isn't it?
yeah, it's like
Saturday the 28th, something like that. I think Thanksgiving's the Thursday, isn't it? The 26th.
I forget.
Let me look on my phone. Good for these things.
What colour are Harrier wheel wells? Aren't they white?
I thought they were white, yes.
Somebody's put either white or light aircraft grey. I think they're white, aren't the Harrier ones?
Do you need to paint them? Because don't the doors shut when the wheels are down?
Yeah, they do. Theoretically, the doors all close up, but I think you'll find the early ones, definitely the Mark 1s and 3s of this world, I think they're in white. The later ones may have been in grey, like
I don't know
aircraft
what
grey.
the market was. If you
They'll have all sorts of fluid on stains and hydraulics and all sorts of leaks, won't they? I'd do it nearly white. I think if you do your undercarriage bays in bright white, they stand out a bit too much for me.
Yes. Yeah, you need to knock them back a little bit, definitely.
But I'd do some nice sort of orangey brown hydraulic staining on them as well.
Yeah, I think the sort of 70s ones were in the white, and then after that, when you went into like GR5s, 7s and stuff, and Aviate-Bs and that, I think they probably would have gone the other way. The US Marine ones might be in white.
I might have some pictures of a GR79 undercarriage. Have a Google on the phone.
Yeah, I think you're correct there. I think the Sea Harriers are definitely in white. Even the FA2s are in white. I think it's a Navy thing, so they can spot hydraulic leaks
Yeah,
and
he's
stuff
saying
easy.
actually the landing gear kit instructions say white, aftermarket decals slate grey.
Oh, they're grey. They're not white. They are grey on a Harrier, aren't they?
Grey, aren't they? The actual undercarriage.
Yes, it is. Sorry, I thought it was the base. Sorry. Yeah, no, the undercarriage legs are definitely grey. What did you do your Sea Harrier in, Philip?
The Sea Harriers are definitely white.
For the undercarriage legs as well?
Yeah. It's a Navy thing, so they can spot hydraulics and stuff, isn't it? They always do them in white on the undercarriage, so it's easy to see because of the colour.
Oh,
Do you
right.
know which mark of Harrier it is? 'Cause I can have a look.
Right, Adrian, just while you think it, we're not going to be able to do that today. I will do a demo on it at some point. Or
Oh,
you want to do worn leather.
Right.
We'll do a little demo at some point to show you how to do that. It's not as hard as you think, actually.
Craig says he just bought a load of stuff from the store. My way of saying thank you for a great entertainment over this weekend. Thank you very much, Craig.
Thank
Pleasure.
you.
Thank you very much.
Oh.
Tiny Tim can eat, or Andy and Albert.
Yeah, he's doing a GR7.
Yeah, see, I think they might be. The
I've
legs
not
will definitely
built
be
those.
grey on that then.
Ooh.
I'm reading about a GR9 from the Harrier SIG, or whatever they paint it in.
I take it hydraulic fluid of OM15 smells not nice then. Rob Edwards just put it up.
Hydraulic oil is horrible in any form. It's nasty stuff.
I worked for a while at a plastic moulding company, and we had a massive cooler outside. It was like a water fountain that cooled all the hydraulic fluid, and all the plastic moulding machines got like massive hoses going to them with all hydraulic fluid in. One night, one of them bust,
Ooh.
and the whole room was literally, it must have been 3-4 inches deep in hydraulic fluid.
Horrible stuff.
Absolutely disgusting.
It is. It's nasty, horrible stuff. I've worked with hydraulic fluid a lot in the past, and yeah. You
It's
get
what we
it
call-
on you, it's like you get swarfiga trying to get yourself very liquid, the works, trying to get that crap off. Not nice.
We
Hey,
killed a few shop vacs that night.
Can you still get Swarfiga
I
Yeah.
think so.
in the big tubs?
Place I used to work, they used to have these massive ones, and also you had like the two varieties. They had the one that was like really gritty. I mean, proper. It cut your hands if you were doing it, and then you had the more mild one as well to get his crap off your hands. But
Was that
Not
What
nice.
colour was it? Was that the pinky reddy coloured one?
Yes, yeah, they used to do a
Sweet.
green one and then a pinky reddy one, was it? The green one was the mild one, and I think the pinky reddy one was the more gritty one.
I was about to say that's the one we used to have when I first started work, because
Yeah.
I was like, it was like half a body shop and half mechanics,
Hmm.
so they were proper grease monkeys, and then
Yeah.
but obviously sort of one toilet, sink and all that lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was used to be the tub of foot, Swarfiga, elaborate on.
To be
And it
honest,
was-
that was my initiation when I started doing my civil engineering. The lads very nicely filled up my work boots with the Swarfiga.
Ah,
So they injected it down by the toes.
yeah,
So I come into work, put my boots on, slide your foot, it's like, and then consequently plastered it. But because it was the gritty one,
yeah.
trying to get it out of it was a nightmare. Washing out your boots, and I was wearing them that day and rubbed my feet raw.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, it was. Got your hands clean though, didn't it?
Oh yeah, that definitely does the work. Nigel says, "Hi guys, just a thought. Do you think you might be attending Cosford next year?"
It's off. It's been
It's
cancelled.
off. It's been cancelled already.
Yeah, that got cancelled blooming heck months ago, didn't it? They'd
Yeah.
already I think that was the first one to go next year.
Next year, yeah.
Yeah, that got cancelled before we'd even thought about it.
Yeah, I must admit they were very much ahead of the curve for cancelling that one. So yes, bless. Unfortunately, there will not be a Cosford model show next year. It is obviously open to the public.
Obviously, Bolton show's gone for
Yeah.
January, which would have been the first one. So there'll be a few more following suit, I think.
Well, again, as I say, we don't really want to get bogged down in this conversation, but I can't imagine things changing before the summer next year.
Yeah.
So,
Tell you what,
if at all.
Adrian's just bought one of these. Good little tub, seriously. It's really.
You know what, I've got a funny feeling in the
I'll get the
book-
review of this up next week. I'll put the review up on probably, I might even be able to get it done tomorrow. Get a bit of time, I'll do it tomorrow night.
Bit late, we've sold out, I think.
I know, well, we'll get another load in. The first lot I know have gone, but we'll get the second load in.
Yeah, we'll get some more in soon as. Yeah.
Yes.
I'd say the undercarriage on a Harrier GR9 is white, but ridiculously dirty.
Well,
Yeah.
they do. Yeah, they're flicking up a lot of crap under there, isn't it?
Like literally just filthy. Like when you've not washed your car for like 3 months in the winter. That's how dirty this undercarriage is.
Yes.
No hydraulic leaks. Just a really sort of, just like your car, that sort of grey, dark dirt wash would be perfect for it actually.
Mm.
Yeah. So they look white on this. There you go. If they're not white, they're very, very close to white.
Whose book's that?
That
Oh,
one.
yeah.
But in the pictures,
one.
you know, when you get your remove before flight tags, they're black, they're red and white, aren't they? And the colours on the tags look the same. Just looking at the rig, that's the main undercarriage. What about the riggers and the wing? Where are they? Nothing like a good reference book.
This is true.
Where's the rigger wheels? I'd be tempted, very, very tempted to paint all the undercarriage white, you know. Same with the riggers, the outrigger wheels. But I'd do them white, but just knock them back a bit. So slightly off white.
Yeah.
So we had the same with Tornado undercarriage. Lots of kit instructions tell you it's white, but apparently anyone that says, you know, used to work with said they were not white. They were just very, very, very light grey.
Depending on your camera. Right, okay, so to kick us off this afternoon, I'm going to do a little bit of work showing you about pigments. Pigments. Okay, so, to be honest, shameless plug, Rory Models happens to do a very nice set, I've done these for donkey years now, of pigments, okay? It comes in an 8-pack, there's actually 8 in there. Okay, so we do 3 rust colours, so we do a light rust, medium rust, we do 2 sands, as you'll see in there, you'll see those again in a minute, and we do 3 earthy colours. They come in 30ml tubs, which you can see down in here, and you get a nice little one of those on the back, and you get one of them, and as I say, we are doing them as a special price, he says he doesn't even know himself, of Hold on. Where are they? They're down here. Oh, Cravona's update. Oh, look, that's it. That's the store doing its bit. Down in here, we're doing them for special price today only. Well, and yesterday, the day before. £28 instead of 35. Okay, so you save yourself a little bit and you get the full set. Or we're doing them just for £4. Okay, so you can see those just there. So, pigments. Again, I apologise. I haven't actually got anything decent to demo on. But I have got a bit of an old favourite of mine. I've got the ISO container, which we actually used for demoing pigments a while ago. And I can really sort of show you on this one because we've got a clean area and things like that. So the pigments themselves, as I say, depending on the colour you do, come in these nice little tubs. And as you see, we've got a light sand down in here and a light earth. And obviously we've got the rusty colours as well. So they are in a little pot looking just like this. Okay, and we got one just down in here. Okay, just like that. Okay, they are extremely fine. I know some people's pigments are a little bit grittier than ours, if you say, or got a higher pigment count, but ours is very much like dust. So you can literally, you know, they are extremely fine when you do it. All right. So with pigments, there's two ways of doing it. You can either use them dry and literally as a dust, okay, which I'll show you just down on here. And it is as easy as grabbing some brushes, okay, and things like that. This is where I'm going to make a right old mess, but it's always fun with them. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put a little bit of dust and things along here. So it's as easy as picking up some of the actual pigments, okay, and then we're just going to brush a little bit just down in here, and we're going to just maneuver it around all of a little bit. So by its nature, it will pull up, as you can see down in the bottoms here, just like this, okay. So you can see they will literally just come through. And what you do is literally as a dust, you can stipple and start to put them in. And you can flick them up and you can flick them down and you can maneuver them round. And you can come along to give it quite a, you know, a nice dusty type look with them. All down the bottom here, you're probably better off on a slightly wider angle so you can see. Okay, and then what I tend to do is I work back to front. So you can take a little bit, so we just put a bit on here and then I brush upwards. So obviously you've got the thicker part down the bottom, so you can sort of lay it down in here. Okay, we're just going to put it along the bottom and then we go up. Now the other thing as well is when you're using pigments like this especially is to make sure you're going over a satin or a flat finish, because they got something to grip to then and bite on. If you're using it just on a traditional type of gloss surface or anything else, all what's going to happen is you're just pushing them around and doing no real particular thing with them. So we're just going to brush these all up and down in here. Okay, and you can add nice type of dusty look down into your containers, and obviously you'd have it naturally, you'd probably have it build up sort of everywhere on here and go round. And I always say with pigments is that not to just use one color, is to use multiple colors so it's sort of natural in its area. So you could leave it down the bottom here as well, so it looks like it's got sand and various things building up at the bottom, because obviously we're using the sand color, but also you can use like another color. So we're just going to come in here, liberally just sprinkle a little bit along here, and we're just going to work it up and down so it sort of blends in with the other one as well. Okay, and we're just going to come up and we're just dusting down, and again you're working along and you're going in all the areas and you're just making it natural and just dusting to sort of wear it in and things like that. And that's how you do sort of dusty effects. So if you're doing buildings, but also this would work if you're doing armor and all the things like that as well, would pretty much work the same way. Okay, so that's doing it like that for a nice sort of dusty effects. Okay, your other way of doing it, of course, is to use them with some people call them pigment fixers, but I think we all agree that it's actually probably just enamel thinners. Okay, so for this, I'm just going to use some normal X20. Okay, so it's not X20A, this is the blue top of X20. Okay, so we're just going to grab a little bit of this and we're just going to make a couple of little dishes. Okay, so we'll do this one down in here because it's nice and clean. Okay, so what we're going to do is going to grab some of the enamel thinners, knocking most of it off the brush. Okay, and we're just going to coat and give a little brush full and work it, obviously, because we've got a textured surface in here in the bottom, and we go up with it and we go along. Now, the thing is with enamel thinners, as you're probably aware, for people who've used enamel paints, they're sticky. They take a while to dry. So if you used to put normal thinners on here, like lacquer thinners, it would evaporate and be not really workable within a few minutes. But enamels take quite a way to go off, and they are quite greasy to feel and stuff like that. So that way it's good because pigments and things like that will stick to it. So whilst Matt in a minute is trying to get rid of oils out of his paint so they dry quicker, using it this way is the other way around because they last longer. So a lot of people will sell you like pigment fixers and stuff like that, but the reality is it is literally, you know, this in a nutshell. So what we're going to do is take a little bit on the brush. So this is the dry brush. Okay, it's got a bit on there. Knock a bit off, and as I say, I tend to use these just to knock a little bit off down in here. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to brush it along the bottom. We get a bit more. Okay, and we're going to put some build up. Okay, and we're just going to start to work it up. So we got sort of a tied area down the bottom here. Okay, so again, we're just gently playing with it and manipulating it. Okay, and then we're going to come in from the other side. So now we've made this sort of tied area down in here. We're going to start to work our way up. So again, we're just going to brush a little bit in, and we're just going to brush some of this around. And it will get stuck very lightly into the actual texture, as well as now being a little bit sticky. It's starting to get that dusty look. If you look, it's sort of getting that sort of worn look to it instead of being like fresh paint as it was before. And you gently can start to build it up, so you can add up to a little bit more in some areas. So just down in here, we're going to put in a little bit as if it's got perhaps something's run down it, so it's a little bit more. Okay.
So Tony's asking if you're using a stiff bristled brush.
No, this is probably a medium. To be honest, it's not stiff at all. If you use a stiff bristle brush, it tends to pull it off. You want quite a soft brush to be laying it down amongst it rather than coming in with anything heavy. But you can see now it's getting that sort of worn, it's getting quite dusty looking, but you can take some other things. So again, we're going to have a little bit of sandy colour on here as well. Okay, we're just going to work these in a little bit so it's got that sort of dusty type look to it. But the pigment is now basically starting to overwhelm the enamel thinners on there because it's drying it out. So as you put more of these on, they stick to it and then start to come out. And again, we can, depending if you want to have a sandy type of look that this is stood on, or if you want it to be anything else. But you could use other colours. In a minute, we're coming along with some rust, and we'll put in some rust streaks and do it that way. Okay. The other way of doing it is you can actually make a little bit thicker. So if we just grab a brush here, so all we'll do is we'll do it in the mud. We're going to grab a little bit thinners and we're going to pop it into the little dish down in here. So this will make, it's not like an oil wash. Don't think this is an oil wash. This is going to be gritty. It's going to be, you know, a bit gnarly because it's not like you were making an oils. This is going to be quite lumpy bumpy, but what you can do with it is you can start to put it in different areas and let it soak round. Now the great thing about using this is that as it dries, it sort of dries all gritty and various things on here. Okay, and then you can actually physically overcoat it a little bit. So as this sort of comes in, we're going to make a sort of a wave, I think, pattern with it. So you can pop that in it. Then you can grab that nice brush you had and you can come along with this as well. And we're going to start to tap a little bit of this in to get caught in it and give us a nice sort of muddy look.
Andrew asked whether you should be using a bench vent or a mask while you're using the pigments.
Well, thing is, if you've got an extractor running, it might take some of the, obviously the dustiness of away and stuff like that. But again, this is one of those where health and safety says you probably should use a mask because you're using a dust material. And if you read the back of any of our sanders packs, it says in here, always use dusty thing. It's got an advice label onto it, and obviously a legal notice on there saying about wearing, you know, various protections and various things. But yes, so I'm naughty, let's face it.
It's hard to talk with a mask on, though, isn't it, when you're teaching?
Well, this is it. Okay, so that's starting to go in there now and give that sort of muddy type look to it. You've got other options as well. So to be honest with you, a nice one, if I've got some to hand, hopefully I have got, Craft PVA glue. Okay, this is just literally the cheap stuff, if I can get into it. Okay.
Matt, just mute yourself a sec.
Okay.
Okay, so what you can actually do, if I can get some out here, is grab a little bit of PVA glue. So we just got a bit on here. Okay, and then what you can do, you can actually add PVA glue into your horrible mix, sludgy stuff you've made up. Okay, so if we just, oh, I'm getting inundated here. And we're just going to grab a little bit more pigment. Okay, and you can make thick, heavy duty mud. Okay. This will also dry rock hard. I don't know why, but it does. But as you can see on here, we're getting some, what we're going to do, we're going to try and flip this around on here a bit. But it's making, they've overdone it slightly. You can actually make really a heavy duty mix. And you can mix a little bit of water in, because I've made it a bit thick. There we go, that's more like it. Try again. Again, you can, we do one side one way, one side the other way. Once that's in there, you can then come along with the other one. You can sit this on. And you can stipple and mottle and add different colours. And this is great for doing heavy duty rust and that type of effect. I'll show you on the close up. Get the camera to play ball. There we go, starting to go down to the bottom. So you can make that look like really old iron and that type of thing. And that's where you come in with other colours. So obviously you could come in with various things. Get rid of that because that's going to be horrible. I'm covered. The only thing is, it's horrible stuff in the way that you get covered in this stuff as it goes through. If I just pop one of these open a minute, I'll just grab a rust. Oh, I forgot to get one. Okay, so down in here we just got the medium rust, what it says about the thing on there. All right, so again, you can grab the rust, and you've got various ways of doing this. Okay, so you can literally make up, where's the thin brush? Oh, I'm just looking for brushes here. You can take a little bit of the thinners on here, and then if you wanted to, you could sort of work this down, let it naturally sort of leach down like that, and then you can take a little bit, clean up the top a little bit, and you can then start to work these down and in. And what happens is it will, obviously it will change and come through. And again, you'll use different colours for different types of things. So we'll just come in with other colours. And you can have things coming down and doing various things. And again, I like to have rust with other colours. I don't like just bare rust. And again, if you use a dark rust, to be honest, I've used a light rust. So we could do with the darker one. And we use a little bit of this. Little bits of other things. And the great thing is you can use, even like sand colours works really, really well with earthy colours. And as things dry and come through, and as you can see down on here, as this is drying and various things, the shade will change and stuff. Again, messy, messy. But you get the idea. And again, you can just come along. We're going to have a little bit of rust. Just going to treat like a little bit of dry brushing, just to give rusty type effects as it's coming down. And so you can see how it's drying back, and what you can do is you can take a little bit of literally thinners, okay, and you can sort of rework almost. So I just sort of touch, don't get involved with it, let it do its own thing, and it will enable it to just find its own way a little bit more and sharpen itself up, and let that sort of fade back. Again, this is one of those things, it's very, very tactile how you can do it. But you can see down in here with this PVA glue, it's going to hold it in that way, and it will just look like that sort of metally way of doing it and going in. And so you've got lots of other colours down in here. Try to get all this out. So down in here we've got like a dark rust colour, we've got the light rust colour. Okay, if I just grab a little bit of light rust, you can see the difference between them. They are very, very different colours. This one's more of an orangey colour. So again, you can just come along. And it is personal choice on what colour you want different things to be. Okay, and how you want it. Because the orange colour is that sort of pre-rusty colour you type of get. Okay, just grab a tiny, tiny little bit. Another little one just running down in here. This one just down in here. A bit down in here. A little bit in the back. Dusty, dusty. And there we have it. Literally just like that. So as you say, you can use the pigments if you wanted to the dusty way, like we've just done on the side there. You can use them like with PVA glues and stuff down in here. And this is great if you wanted to do like burnt out rust and stuff, because it gives it the texture. And that's the difference between pigments from using pigments over oils, because pigments have got a texture and they're quite rough. And again, by mixing it with PVA glue, you can almost make concrete with this stuff, and it will dry rock hard. It doesn't dry like rubbery or anything else like that. So you can do that, or you can just use it as we've done on here, where it's wet and it's like glued into areas. So it's just got that filled up area, or we got these ones going on at the top. So again, it's just one of those ones where depending how you want to use it, depends on how it is. As for overcoating and things, I'm not a fan. I think as soon as you overcoat it, it loses its, you know, its hue and its niceness and stuff like that. But again, if you're not that happy with it, you can come in with cotton buds, for instance. So perhaps this little guy down in here, we're just going to lightly move it around a little bit. So we're just going to shorten this one up. This one just down in here. Perhaps it's a little bit too much going down in there. Move it back up. This little guy here. And then when you got it on your cotton bud, you can actually start playing with it and maneuvering it around and doing interesting things with it. So again, it's actually really fun when you start playing with it in different areas, when you start to tidy up and sharpen up. I tend to put this type of weathering, just chuck it all in, and then afterwards I'll start to manipulate it and play with it and move it around. And a lot of time I'll literally just use a brush, and it's just a case of blending as well, because you can add sharpened details a little bit later on. Okay, but for the moment you're just going in there, going in, and just touching in and doing various parts just like that. And there is pigments.
Very good. Don't you think the trick with pigments is less is more?
Absolutely, yeah. It's very easy. Mind you, I'm the same with oils as well. Is to get carried away, and you end up going too far, and then you look back at it as a whole and think, "Oh my God," you know. But you get so focused into doing it, you forget you've put too much on. But I'm a great believer in weathering in general, isn't it? The bit where in the back of your mind you're thinking I've overdone it, chances are you probably have. You know, that's your own little person on your shoulder saying, "Do you know what? I'd stop if I was you." So,
I mean, like, you know, when we do sort of the rerun of our old work.
yes.
I mean, I used to use pigment quite a bit because obviously, like with Mig doing his pigments at the time, Mig Productions and stuff. So I jumped on that bandwagon and bought them.
Yeah.
And I think the colour was European Earth.
Yeah.
And everything was European Earth. You know, when you look back now, talk about monochrome.
Yeah, everything was done that way.
Yeah, it's like I think I built a Cromwell tank, and there's some pictures of that, and you look back and it's like it's just this dust of European Earth pigment all over it. Do you know what I mean? And it's
Yes.
Dave Gas, when would you use pigments and not washes?
Pigments are brilliant for sort of wheels are just fantastic because you get that and lower parts of stuff, shall we say?
Yes.
I was going to say pigments is more muck, mud and grime and muck rather than overall grime, isn't it?
Yeah, and even with the rusty tones, like Phil's just thinking, like, you know, on that container, because they're ideal. I think pigments are a hard job to use on aircraft modelling, if I'm honest.
Yeah, wheels maybe,
but wheels and perhaps a bit of the undercarriage legs and the doors. I mean, I've seen people do it with obviously smoke staining from the stack, you know what I mean, from exhaust staining with pigments, and that, if pulled off right, again, it looks good. But for general sort of like doing a wash with pigments, I don't know. I think obviously better off a Phil's wash or an oil wash or whatever you prefer medium is. But
I used to back in the day use chalk pastels.
Yeah.
But I find pigments easier to use than pastels. They don't sort of like pastels are a bit too painted. They're sort of like stain it too much, whereas pigments you see like seem to be able to work them better.
I'll tell you what they are brilliant on. Tracks.
Yes,
and to be honest, that's what I used to do all of mine on was tracks.
And also, if you had a bit of plaster, you can make a really nice mud.
Yes.
A thick, gloopy mud. And then obviously for road wheels and, you know, especially on armour vehicles, really, you can get a nice effect.
The downside to them is they're bloody messy.
Yeah, and they're good for using for your dioramas and things as well.
Diorama bases, that's where really I use a lot of my pigments. Diorama bases for dusty floors or grime going up buildings or walls or stuff like that. I think they're absolutely perfect for that, to be honest. Yeah, look, but they are filthy. They absolutely are.
Luke says not for the high seas group build though. Yeah, probably not.
No.
You can get rusty tones on ships, can't you? And they're just
of course you do. To be honest, my ship I did, that was all pigments, but I did the rust streaking.
I know. I think there is a place for them. And they do get grimy, don't the ships? They do get filthy, so...
Yeah.
I think, you know, the thing is with pigments, it is just a tool in what you're using. So like washes, it doesn't matter if they're my washes or with pigments or whatever. I tend to use washes for the base work. You know, that is what, if I'm using it for griming and weathering, that's what does all the work. And then obviously for pigments, I'll use them. If I'm doing armor, the underside always gets pigments. You know, it gives it that nice dusty, or again, if you want to do the wet mud look, or if you wanted to do, like Matt was saying, thick mud, those types of things, you can use it for those effects, because obviously washes and that won't do with it. And then the same with oils. Oils have their place because you can do the really nice detailed work with that, of popping it around in various areas and things, and as you go through, and just, you know, just generally using each one as is required in using. But sometimes I won't use pigments at all. You know, I don't use them. You know, they're not like a thing where I think, oh, I need to use pigments on this. It is literally just a case of what is needed at what point. And a bit like the rusts, you know, we do 3 rusts in the range, from very much that orangey rust, as you can see on here, versus the medium. The dark ones are very dark red, you know. And again, the sand, you know, I tend to use the light sand. If you want to go here somewhere, that must be mine. The light sand is great for doing dust effects. So to put that into perspective, we've got another light earth and a dark. I've got a picture here when we were doing the helicopter. So if I'm doing helicopters and I'm doing a black work on, where is the black work? There we go. On this one, when we were going through and giving it like a pigment scrub, you can do dust effects. This was just done with dust inside, of literally just popping it around and things like that. Have we not got any more photos of it? Not really. But you can see on the outside, it's got a dusty look, but obviously in the inside and inside vehicles generally, because it just has that nice dust effect, even though it's a sandy colour, it works really well as a straightforward dust rather than using greys in that way. Because I think they're just sort of monotone, but using the actual those in there, and again right the way over for scrub effects, and then using the darker sand for proper sandy work, you know, and that type of thing. So yes,
I saw a really good technique years ago that I've used a few times, where you put, say, if you're doing specific armor, really worn stuff, you can put the base coat, your undercoat down.
Yeah.
Mix some pigments with white spirit or enamel thinners and put it on it in patches.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of those patches, using a sponge, put some small amounts of mask oil on it. Yeah. Then put your top coat on. Then you can piggle away at the mask oil. And then using white thinners or enamel thinners again, streak it down because you've got the pigments underneath.
It wasn't me you were watching with that one, Andy. It's exactly what me and Matt did when we did transit vans.
No, I can remember you doing that.
Yeah.
No, but I know way before, decades before I saw you doing that.
Oh.
You start and streak it down through the paint and so like, and you get it all chipping away, don't you?
Yeah, I must admit that's how I do my rust effect. For my way, I literally do base coat for primer your model, then I make up a thick mix with just enamel thinners of like the rust colour, and I'll just put a blob of it on the actual bodywork. So if it was like a vehicle, say like on Buster here, you know, you just put some blobs where you want it to be. So if it's on like wheel arches or something else like that, especially on vehicles, and then I'll just spray it normally. I don't use mask oil, and then all you do is pierce it. And then when you pierce it, and then you just get a brush and just do a single streak going downwards, and then that way, when it leaches out, the pigment gets released and then tracks like naturally would. And then just runs down to the area, and I don't even touch it. But the time me and Matt did the transits, when we did our old beaten up Esky transits on one of the live shows to do it, because you can, it almost, the great thing is it bubbles like rust does. Yeah. So when you pick it, it literally does do exactly the same thing, and it sort of leaches through on that one.
I'll tell you where pigments do come into though, and if you're doing abandoned stuff, you know, really worn and abandoned stuff, they are really good for that. Chris has asked, have you ever thought of doing a very light pigment?
Again, you know, it is the thing with the pigments is like the washes. There is stone ones out there. And to be honest, I've got a load of mix over there, and they do ones like, to be honest, like Matt was saying, European Earth, and is like a chalky
light
colour,
dust.
isn't it?
It's a light dust that I don't know if I've got it here, but yeah, one of the MIG Productions ones. Because they've changed now, MIG Production. I think I'm teal.
Desert sand is this colour, you see, that they do, and this is like just a normal sort of dusty colour. Where's the camera? It's sort of this.
Sorry, now I've got beach sand. Now I've got light dust. Where's my light dust? All the things have come off mine. The labels on the top. Yeah, light dust. There we go. Look, right. So this shows. Look at them. Look, they're
No, they're really ancient.
proper relics. But
yeah, that's what I've got.
Beach sand is on my right, probably their left, and then that's light dust.
Yeah.
Which is very light, really, really, really white. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there you go. Turn them around. But yeah, like I say, these have now MIG Productions have been, I think, Abteal long.
Yeah, they are. I've got the Abteal long ones here.
Yeah.
Same things.
But they're in the same little jars, aren't they? And
yeah,
stuff.
these are. It's just the same little footed jars. But you know, as I say, the thing is with the Abteilung ones, which were the MIG ones originally, is that they're quite gritty. They're more coarse, I find. That was the only sort of downside to them. But I do use them. I use these all the time, even though we do these. But it is that thing about, the rust ones, you can put down the dark rust and then work it to the outer areas with lighter colours of it and things like that. Same really works with the mud and the various ways of doing it. But I think it's just another tool in your toolbox when you're modelling. So admittedly, I use these all the time for armour because anything below the hull as in tracks, stuff like that. You'll see it every time. I literally just brush it all on there, go through with it, and you can do various effects with it with streaking and those things. Then I'll use pigments and oils combined, because that's the other thing as well. The wash works really well with pigments and oils. So it's all one of those things that works together.
Do you know what though? Just while we're on about mud and stuff for tanks and armour and stuff, I've actually switched from pigments to Save the Mess, and I started using that stuff. You know, like the emulsion paint with the sand in it. I've started using that, and obviously there's the Vallejo version.
Yeah.
And I really like it. It dries rock hard, and you've got a really nice base for then covering it with either oils, enamels, whatever you want to cover it with.
Yeah.
And I just like how you can reactivate it to a point, water, just to move it around and not have it clumped up, and it's very user friendly. I mean, that's obviously meant for dioramas, for basing up, but yeah. Good stuff. So here we go.
Cool.
Right.
Two lights here, have I? Hold on. Which? That's a medium. That's a light. One's mine. One's not. One's out of that set. There we go.
It's hat on time.
Right, you ready?
I'm ready as I'm ever going to be.
Brace yourself.
Watch it. This could go terribly wrong.
No, it's not.
Let me get the overhead on, so you're not seeing me in my goggles.
Yes.
A little bit of jeopardy makes it exciting, doesn't it?
It is. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so following on from this morning, obviously Matt based up his figure, and we've got a little bit of a crib sheet here. I've done. This is the colours that Matt's got there. So that's your numbers and what they are.
Right. So I'll run through this for you. So what usual thing with oils is obviously take the oil out of it, basically. So you just want pigment. So if we run through, I've even written it down here. So we've got light flesh, we've got basic flesh, we've got shadow flesh, we've got shadow brown, field grey, faded navy blue, ochre, yellow. Sorry, that's wash brown. Sorry, that's shadow brown, faded yellow, and that was white, just snow white.
Yes.
So as you can see on my little, now I'm using a tile, basically. That's just a normal tile. You want something really with a shiny, just to clean it. It's easy to clean and mix. And what I've done is for a basic flesh colour is mix yellow with shadow flesh colour. So that's that, and then progressively lightened it. Now you can go as many as you want for this. I've just done basic, and I've just lightened it with basic flesh and then white. And then you just get some basic flesh tones for this thing. And then for shadows, there's a bit of blue that's been mixed in with that. So that's the faded navy blue. And then I've gone from that to make a lighter grey colour, which again is just adding white. And then that one is just the shadow wash on its own. And then again, I've just mixed a couple of shades using these three. So you've got mid-tones and darker shadows and lighter shadows. So just basic. But again, you can go far as you want with this. You can have them, you know, all over. Just play with it and see what you like. Brushes I'm going to use. I've got a Winsor & Newton. This is a #1, the mini series, because as anybody who's used oil paints know, a little goes a very long way. So you don't need to put a lot on. And the other thing you will need is a very soft, either a flat brush, an angled brush, but a soft brush. So I've got pretty much a worn Italeri #2 in, which is ideal. And then that's just for spreading it around like you'll see. So, bit of thinners. You don't need to thin it a lot. Do not soak your brushes. You want to just really just dab it in. And we'll start off by doing some shadow work, just to get, again, the basic shape of the face back. So again, just dip it in and then unload it. I don't know if you can see that on my camera. I've just got a bit of kitchen foil here.
Yeah.
And just unload it for a little bit, and then we'll grab probably this one here, which is the shadow brown colour. And you can mix it off the camera. You don't want it too thin. You just want it so you can move it. And I'm just going to put a bit of wash brown in with it. Just make it a bit dark. Back up a bit. Okay. And what you basically do is, so we've got shadows. So under his eyes, put a bit on, literally like that. That is it. Get your brush and just smear it. That's all you're going to do. Again, you can build this up, build it up in layers. You don't even I always do that. Put my brush in my mouth. You don't even have to be neat with this. So some more. Again, I've got the fast dry thinner, so it evaporates quite thick. So under the chin here, put a line there. Again, blend that in. Cheeks, where the natural shadow will be, just whack a bit on the cheeks.
Can you possibly just move it up a tiny bit, Matt? Or camera
What?
just a kink towards you? It's all right. It's at right at the bottom of the screen. That's it. That'll be perfect. That's it.
Is that
Lovely.
better?
Yeah,
Sorry,
perfect.
I'm trying to look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
All right, try to keep it in shot.
That's the hardest thing of doing these.
I know. Zygos,
Just have it relaxed where you are and move the camera around you, I always find.
Yeah. Then there's literally no sides to this. It's just where the shadows would naturally be.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of the dark shadow colour in it and spread it around. Okay. Don't matter if it smears or anything, because you're going to cover it up anyway.
Yeah.
Under the chin, we'll do a darker tone. Ears is one in his ears. That's why I like oil paints, because they are so durable. You can be quite sloppy. So we'll do a darker tone in that bit of his ear. Really dark bit. And also behind his ear as well. Line as well, put some around there. Again, with it being matte paint as well, it will the oil paint will grip. So when you do blend it, as such, it will, you know, smearing really quite nice without just wiping back off again if it was on a glossy surface.
Yeah.
So we'll do his temples, another one, so we'll do that. Under his hat. Like I said, this is just basic sketching. Under the eyes as well. With this being a process, it is just, like I say, a bit of patience, relax, and enjoy it, really.
Very zen.
Yeah, find your inner zen. Good point.
Nice little bit of music in the background, a few
It
joss
is, yeah, you
sticks.
can put Bill on one of the shows, and yeah.
Relax and enjoy it when you've got God knows how many people watching you do it.
Yeah, no pressure. Thanks for that, John.
I have got a figure I fancy having a crack at. No, I've watched this. I've got some idea where to start on it.
All waiting for your first slip up. No pressure.
Oh, mate, I've probably done it already. Again, it is good to clean your brush every now and then because obviously the oil paints do sort of stay in the brush. Again, looks a bit rough and ready, but you're getting some natural, you know, where the shadows or the deeper shadows are going to be. So we'll just move on to just the next stage would just be your basic flesh tone. So whatever that's going to be, that's the tone you will always come back to if you're not happy with your highlights or your shadows. You can always, you know, this will all cover up and blend in once you start getting more layers on it. So we'll just, well, that one's just give that one a minute. So like this guy here, as you can see, the natural shadows under the chin, the neck, the darker shadows will be around his helmet, and then obviously under the nose, and then you just, again, it's just a layering and layering process. And because, like I said earlier on, the oils are so transparent, it takes a bit to build it up before you see a bit of progress.
So if you were doing this with acrylics, would you have to work a lot faster?
It's not so much working faster, it's the blending. You're working in thinner layers to like glazers, really. It's a bit, I suppose, like putting makeup on, contouring, I think's the word. You know, you're putting definition in for the cheeks, bringing the nose forward, so you know when you look at it, you can see the features. And then what you want to do is obviously make the highlights pop and the shadows deep. So yeah, that's the easiest way. So if you go off and watch ladies doing contouring makeup, you'll probably get an idea of how to paint a figure, because that's pretty, you know, that's why there are some fantastic female figure painters.
Yeah.
So
Painting faces the whole line. So
yeah. So move on to just a bit. So I'm going to use, if you can see on the camera, this basic skin tone here. And if it's a bit too light, then obviously you can just mix it on the palette. You know, if you want a pinker tone or a warmer tone, colder tone, you know. Again, so slap a bit over. And nose. Chin. The way I've worked out, it looks a lot worse when you first start than later on, because obviously you're just building up the bases again, base tones up. Is anybody still watching, or they all switched off?
No, you're all good. So I was just cleaning me brush because I thought if that dries with me pigment on it, it's going to go like concrete. Oh no, I've ruined me brush. Gordon says figure painting is the pinnacle of the hobby, in his opinion.
I don't know. I think it's just something you could learn, isn't it?
I think it is, because as I said before, I think it's more like art, as in proper art, than, because again, you're painting a portrait in 3D.
Yeah.
It's basically like painting like numbers, isn't it? Because you know where it's got to go, but, you know, making it look good, that's a different, you know?
Yeah.
It is interesting actually. It looks like almost like a zombie makeup with strong cheekbones, and it's just fading away, isn't it? It's layer and layer and layer of paint.
Again, it's like the sculpt is really defies, you know, how good the sculpt is really helps on shadows and highlights, to be honest. And like I say, he's obviously got more pronounced cheekbones than he probably would have had in real life, but then obviously you can put a shadow in and then highlight. I mean, if we take that figure, again, if you look how they've sculpted it, you can really tell where the highlights are going to go.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously your highlights get smaller and smaller, as you can see from our, you know, how I've painted that. It's smaller to the corner of his eyes on the outside. And then the one thing I've noticed with, you know, painting figures is you've got to make them look like they're alive. They've got a bit of blood flow, a bit of colour, because you can go for just like, if you go off this palette, you'll go so pale and like look really lifeless.
Yeah.
So obviously, like cheeks are one where obviously you can get colour. The end of the nose is another one to put a nice bit of colour, and also this bit here underneath the eyes.
Yeah.
Just in the corner, just to, you know, or otherwise it just gets too light and a bit lifeless. I mean, this one again, we'll use that one, but you know, you can see under his cheeks, and then round the temples as well is a good place to put them, because obviously if your sun is coming at 12 o'clock, his nose will be highlighted, the top of his chin, and probably some of his forehead. I know it probably wouldn't technically because he's got his goggles on, but you know, you've got to bend reality a little bit to make it interesting. But to be honest, if you really want to see some proper top class figure painting, go to a website called Putty and Paint, because when we was in Mossen, the big figure sort of competition there, isn't there, and at Eindhoven, and these guys are just different level. You know,
Matt normally does use a wet palette, but I think because he's demoing, he's just got it in here.
Well, this is because I'm on oils. This is obviously a different medium. Wet palettes for acrylics, which is that one.
Yeah.
So again, that's a completely different medium, really. So.
Jason says Matt needs to do a video build. We are planning on it. We're just waiting for the studio to be sorted out.
I'm hopefully it's going to be done this week, to be honest. I was hoping really before before this happened this weekend, I was going to get my lights in. That's all I wait for, some lights to be put up.
Yeah. So Matt, what we've done is we've basically going to be recreating a version of what we've got down in here up with Matt. So then obviously you will have the similar quality cameras and lighting and everything else like that.
Yeah.
So we have two studios. Question: what is a good source for figures? What company is the Tamiya of figures? Good question.
I'll tell you, really do good sculpts or young miniatures. Sorry, I'm going up to the other camera. There's one. Young Miniatures do some really good sculpts. There's another one called Life Miniatures. There's a lot of companies doing it now, to be honest. It depends what genre as well you want to be painting.
Yeah.
Mitch's military models, who obviously this is from this Galland bust, they do some nice figures as well.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it depends what scale, because you can get them in a smaller scale than this as well. I think it's 1/16 you can get them in. My brush. Again, it's like anything in this hobby, it's a process. So,
What you're doing is demystifying it for people here, because it's like you look at them figures in shows and you just don't even know where to start.
like I said, I'm really new to doing it with oils. It was only the Richtofen bust, because before it was acrylics, but I weren't really doing, you know, apart from the cowboy bust, is really the only one I've done, because there's more 35th figures. I thought these would look good on our Luftwaffe, like the Richtofen and Galland, and you know.
Some of the personalities
Yeah,
on the table, not just the aircraft.
yeah. Again, one thing you got to remember with the oils, it will dry faster because we bleach the oil out of it, but it does need a drying time. Because otherwise, all you do is just keep blending it into itself. But because I've done this over Tamiya paint's actually quite porous. So it does seem to be just soaking and drying quite quick, to be honest. Any more questions, or?
So Tony's saying he's currently using oils to do the stripy camo on his Fokker DR1.
Yeah,
I guess the work time lends itself to that.
yeah.
Christopher's given a shout out for Alpine miniatures in 35th and 16th scale.
Yeah, Alpine miniatures are really nice sculpt.
And then Chris Bradbury said he learnt figure painting the Verlinden way. It's
Yeah,
nice to see how it's moved on from just like using 5 basic colours.
again, if you've got the basic colours though, you know, you can go anywhere really, as long as you've got a light and a dark.
Just quick looking at sales in the shop, and strangely, the trumpeter drills have been a hit this afternoon.
Have they?
Is that the USB charger ones?
Yeah, yeah. Must admit, there'll be one on my shopping list as well.
Yeah. Get some more ordered of them, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the reason, yeah, the fact that the slow speeding don't bleed plastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they're cordless, so you don't drag them over everything. That's what I love about them. Because my other one, that's the pain of my bloody life, that thing.
That's 3 gone in the past hour.
That's off of Tony for doing the stripy Fokker camouflage in paint though, because I bet a lot of people take the easy way out and just buy the deco sheet for it.
Yeah, I think most will.
That is got to be the coolest scheme on the DR1 is that stripy camo. Like a fabric thing.
Somebody eating?
Hey?
Are you eating?
No, sorry, I'm just packaging.
Sounds like eating crisps.
Sorry, I'm not eating crisps, don't panic.
Always as well, if you want ultimate like contrast, put a highlight next to a shadow. This is probably not the best figure. Let me just pick another figure. That one. So if you put a dark shadow in and
Down a bit, Matt.
sorry, and then put a highlight, the highlight will stand out. And that's same with any painting. To be honest, it's whatever you're painting. It's contrast. Especially on figures, the more contrast you can get. I mean, it's looking a bit pasty, isn't it?
Is anyone else waiting for Matt to put his hands down in the oil paint?
Yeah. Put his arm in it when he reaches over.
I've done it already. I do it every time, to be honest.
Peter says this is mesmerising, but if he tried it, it would be a disaster.
Chris is asking, what's the most popular kits being bought over the weekend?
God knows. Until I'm trying to check whether we've sold out of.
See, the trumpeter drills have gone well.
I think we've sold a lot of Bandai.
Yeah.
Bandai.
And then wraps.
Oh. So Len said he struggled with those aviatic stripy decals.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all needed cutting up to make them workable. And then Tony says he's doing Lothar von Richthofen's DR1 with a yellow tail. I'll be doing another Red Baron one when I get mine started.
You've got to.
I have, because it's going to go with your figure, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm absolutely covered in pigment. What's the blending brush you're using, Matt?
It's literally just an old artillery brush. As long as it's a soft brush, it'll blend.
Yeah.
You know, this one's just a warm round number 2. But obviously, like Abtil Lung do their own. Look at it in camera, which I've got, which is a flat brush, and you know, as long as it's soft, it'll blend.
Yeah.
I bet this is literally like watching paint dry.
I think people are kind of finding it quite
Is it-
strangely relaxing for a Sunday afternoon.
You can say Sunday afternoon Zen.
Yeah.
What
They're
is it?
saying here
AM?
they'll have to decide who wins the Bob Ross Award for the demos, Phil, Matt or Andy.
That's
Oh,
all.
about that.
So the demo crew this weekend have done sterling work, haven't they?
To be honest, I think you did all right with that chipping. Seeing that you had moulded chippy fluid.
I know, yeah, that's I don't think it worked properly.
This is a good trick. You know, if you put like a bit of a dark bluey grey under the eyes, you can like make somebody look tired or a bit, you know.
Do you do the same technique when doing uniforms, hats, etc.?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I did on the Richtofen bust. Again, that was acrylic base, and then all the leather coat was oils, mainly dark browns, blacks. You can use black for the deeper shadows because it was supposed to be a black jacket. The hat I did as well. So again, that was just a base coat, I think, with Vallejo Field Grey, German Field Grey, I think. 980, I think the number is. And then again, just mixed it up. The red, to be honest, is just straight Vallejo dark red or caddy red. And the peak of his hat is just Vallejo. There's no oils on that. So you've got to pick where you can use your oils and where you're just going to either whatever medium you work in. But you definitely want a solid base coat before you go in with your oils. So, yeah. I've still got to fix that blue mats because it's really bugging me.
So can't you put a bit of gloss on it to make it
I
look
might
more?
try that. I don't know. It just looks really flat.
Or even just some crystal clear or something.
Yeah. I'm still on camera. Sorry if I'm on camera.
But now we know why his face painting was so good for Halloween.
Yeah, Leslie did it.
Yeah. And another electric drill. Thank you, Tom.
Still funny.
Say that.
We need a. Every time one gets sold, I'll go.
Yeah. How many are left? Can't be many left, can there?
Yeah, there's a few.
The drill is the master tool, cordless drill.
Yeah.
It's in the tool section on the floor side.
Are you still clearing pigments off yourself, or have you done it?
I've cleaned myself down now. I've pressure washed the place. I was more concerned about my brushes having PVA glue and pigment on because they turn to concrete and they'll never get them off. So
Yeah.
I quickly cleaned them.
Because it's selling well, I'm going to move the drill up to the top on the page, make it easier to see.
I thought you were going
Have
to
they
say.
announced at all when they're going to release their drillless cord?
The drill is cord. You get one of them with the drill.
Well, I have to say the battery life on it is fantastic because I've only charged it now twice since I've had it, and I've had it for like over 2 weeks and I've used it a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
So, testimony to the old battery strength.
Yeah.
Will
Roger
the drill
says
take the Hobbycraft accessories?
Yeah, I think it will, won't it? It's got quite a decent chuck on it, hasn't it?
To be honest, I have done a review for it. I did a review a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't want to put it out until we knew we were going to have a good product. I didn't want to, technically have a bit of crap. And everyone will moan at me saying how it broke. But no, I'll put the review up tomorrow. But yeah, no, it's really good. It takes everything. It's got a bigger chuck than the normal collet because it's a proper chuck. It's not a collet.
Yeah.
So it's a proper 3-pin jaw chuck, or 3 jaws. And
Another 2 sold. Might be running out at this rate.
But yeah, I must admit, I've been using it, as I say, for the last 2 weeks, trying to be honest, break it, because I want to know how far I can push it and what it'll do with it. And because it's a slower speed, it's not going to be used for heavy duty work, but for doing craft work like we do, it's ideal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot better having a proper jawed chuck than just a collet, because a collet, if you've got tiny little drill bits, it doesn't work. But this thing I've had in it, was it a 0.3? It was the smallest I was drilling with it. So it's a 0.3 mil drill bit, and I was drilling with it. You'll see it. I go through plasticard showing it, and no problem at all. Right the way through to, I don't know what standard size these things are. Me calipers. These are, what is that in earth pounds?
Oh my god.
4 mil chuck, 4 mil drill bit it'll take, no problem at all.
Another 2 sold. Thank you, Rob, Dave.
The drill, if you go to the PM store, it's in the tool section, so it's the Flory Models logo. Click on that, you'll go in, and Andy's put it at the top now.
Christopher and Robert.
Have you moved it up the top, Andy?
Yeah. It was right at the bottom, wasn't it? So it wasn't easy to find.
The link for the store and everything is in the show notes below. So where it says like more info, if you're watching on YouTube, you've got Flory Models and PM Models. Just click on them.
Right.
I thought my skin was...
Hey?
Sorry, I thought my skin was falling off. It's all right, it's PVA glue.
Yeah, my Master Tool single blade nippers are holding up to some serious abuse as well, actually.
Yes. Got a review of that coming as well. And the biggest punch set.
They're they're all right. They're not god hand good, but
Well, for the price, they're ideal, aren't they?
I use them for the jobs that I didn't use the god hand for. Like the slightly thicker screw things, and they've not let me down yet.
And if you're looking for tools, it's the Flory Models logo next to airbrushes and thinners.
It's all right, what I'm doing, hold on, I'm just going to go and grab it so they can... If you put it at the top now, Andy, oh yeah, right, that's perfect. Right, what I'll do is I'll put the link into the YouTube feed. If this works. Here you go.
Hated anything, this.
Don't forget, take this opportunity to like and subscribe. Isn't
Like
that
and
what we have to
subscribe.
say?
Another one, thank you, Martin.
Hit the notification button and all that.
Yeah, it's what we're just talking about there, Tractor Man 747. I love it. I've been testing it. I had it on test for the last 2 weeks, and mine's absolutely fine. And I have given it some serious abuse, and I've only had to charge it twice.
Is Mr. Cromfield in chat?
Another tip, when you're painting eyes, or at least the whites of the eyes, don't use pure white. Use a light flesh colour.
Yes.
So they're not too bright.
Otherwise, it'd be too piercing, isn't it?
Yeah. I know when I did the eyes on the Baron, if you actually, when you've done the actual pupil and stuff, if you actually put a daub of, not what the reflection is, but just next to where it ends, you know, the round bit ends, a daub of pure white, then that will make it stand out. You know, it'll make it pop, if you can see that. But yeah, it is just a daub of pure white next to it, next to the iris in it. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes.
But yeah, otherwise that just base it up with definitely not white, more of a light flesh.
Amy's got a good question, Matt. How does one know when to stop painting the figurine?
Instinct. That's all I can say. It is instinct. It's. I don't know what else to say. I think you just know.
Graham says he keeps buying every tool Nathan mentions. Keep going, Nathan.
What else do we need to sell?
Yeah. What else can we push?
Andy, Marcus, can you just let me know which of the helicopters you're after, the long-legged one or the short-legged one? Cheers, mate.
So, right, go back to this figure. I've not done his neck because we'll wrap this up or else I'll be going all afternoon. So as you can see, the basics are there. I've got to let it dry anyway because all I'm going to do now is just keep smearing it into itself. If that makes sense. It's, you know, with being oil paint, it has got to have some drying time. But as you can see, there is starting to be some definition. There's obviously the shadows. You want a bit of colour. It's going to be a lot deeper down the bottom where his 5 o'clock shadow will be, which again will be one of the grey colours, blue and grey colours. I've got to pick out his tash and work on his eyes. But as you can see, that is the pretty basic sketch again. And then we'll just build up from there, and then eventually, like you said, we'll take this one. Once it's dry, you can build your highlights up, put some more colours in, put some more shadows in. And, you know, it's a process. It's going to take you a few days to do it because of the drying time, but, you know.
Perfect.
Another drill. Thank you, Charles.
Very good. Excellent job. Well, thank you, Matt, for that.
I hope you learned something.
Can I ask you a quick question, Matt? I don't know whether you mentioned it or not. His hair.
Yes.
Do you do that with oils again in the same sort of way and just blending it in?
To be honest, I'd probably paint that with acrylics to base it up. And then do it with oils. Because again, because oils are so transparent, it'll take a bit of covering. Unless, of course, he is grey. And then you've got it up. Yeah? But I think on the Baron, the thing is, you know, like, obviously, because his head was...
Down a bit, mate.
Down. Yeah.
Sorry, because his hair was short to begin with.
And it was blonde, wasn't it?
And it was blonde. That was oil paints. I think I did that with it. It weren't acrylics, but obviously there's a bit more hair on. Ooh. Obviously he's got a bit more of a mop of hair on the back of here. Look. Yeah. So yeah, I'll base that up with acrylics. Again, I will mix the mediums up for what purpose I need.
Excellent. Cool. Any questions for Matt? Type them up now. Any questions on figure painting?
Obviously, that is a very, very quick half an hour sort of.
Yeah, I was going to say this is.
It's a bit of a longer process than that, but honestly, you will be sitting here for hours and hours, and it's probably get a bit boring. Could do with probably, like I say, doing a bit and editing it to a more manageable format. I think.
Cool. Very, very good indeed. Well done, mate. That's beautiful work. That's it. It's going to say he's changed camera. Very good. Quick one for Nathan. Good day, guys. Question for Nathan. Is the 1/48 scale Revell Tornado F3 ADV worth building? And what is the timeline for the particular aircraft used? Or what era? Do we know? It was in its golden ages. It was going out, that version of it, wasn't it?
Yeah, to me it's an 80s aircraft though, isn't it? It's
yeah.
like, replace the Phantoms. Well, to me, it's like early 90s is kind of the golden era for that jet. And as Phil said, it reached its core strength. You know, it could do its mission, and then they retired it.
Yeah.
To the Eurofighter. The Revell F3 ADV is very, very well worth building.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tricky build, but you can almost build it in the same way that I did on the 48th one.
Yeah.
The IDS, you know, if you mess the build sequence up, you have a lot less problems with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the artillery kit's available as well. But I'd always build the Revell one as a first choice. I think far more refined detail. But it does look like the artillery one's got the possibility of an F3 as well.
Hmm.
I think. Wait and see.
Yes, we think so.
Can I just answer Tim? Sorry, can I just answer Tim? He said, would you do the same for a 32nd figure? To be honest, probably yes. You could get away with it on 32nd. You could get away with it on 35th with oils. It's just obviously on a smaller basis. And for me, I just find it easier just to stick with acrylics. The only probably thing I would do is add a bit of colour to the cheeks with the oil because it's easier to blend. But yeah, 32nd figures, yeah.
And Clint's also asking, how would you seal the oils after they're drying for your next session?
Well, once they dry, you're not going to reactivate them. But if you are a bit impatient like I have been before and I've not fully leached the oil out, so they've put a shine on, I've just given them a coat of XF86. You can put a matte coat in between them, seal them that way. And also, it's probably not a bad practice when you've done. I wouldn't do it on leather because you want that sheen. But the face and that has definitely had a XF86 flat coat on it, just because if you do end up picking it up, you don't want to be wearing through it.
Yeah. And Robbie, if you're after 10-pack Flory Sanders, you need to buy them off Phil's site, not off the PM site, to get a discount.
Although the 10-pack, we're out of stock at the moment.
Oh, right, fair enough, sorry.
They sold out yesterday, unfortunately. And as I say, I can't guarantee when I'll have a certain sander that goes in to make up that pack, you see. So they should be in midweek, but they should have been here last week. As we were saying, things are all a little bit all over the place at the moment. Peter says, brilliant work. Thanks, Matt. Although you're definitely low def. As I said, we're sorting all this out. Doing live stuff like this, it's a bit different. I've got the studio with the cameras and stuff, and obviously I'm hosting it on 2 computers. The guys, obviously, they're just doing it on one, feeding to me. You lose a little bit in all of that. But as I said, what we're hoping for is to have the new studio set up in Doncaster, so Matt will be proper 8-bit. Or 8K, I should say.
8-bit? No, I'm always 8-bit. 8K, yeah.
8K.
Full HD.
To be honest as well, I've got one of Phil's proper cameras, which is on the tripod, and that will help because you can properly zoom in. Obviously, I'm just on a webcam here, so there's, it's a bit limited, isn't it? So with a proper cam, you can properly zoom in and probably see a lot better what I'm doing, to be honest. This was just a quick demo of,
Jason's saying that as well. What else we got? Inspiring work. Well done, Matt. Masterclass. Good job. Nice work, Matt. Lots of questions like that. Very good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Les says, Les says, are you looking at getting some parallel clamps? Phil's look more useful than others I've seen due to the jaw length. If you're talking about the blue, turquoisey blue thingy clamps, we can't get hold of them. There is some knocking around some red ones available somewhere. I'm sure someone will post up in chat, say where they're from.
They were on the Revell site when we discussed them the other week.
Oh, is it the same as the Revell ones? The small ones?
I don't know if anybody's actually got them physically.
Yeah, Keith's ordered some red ones, hasn't he, from somewhere.
We talked about that about 2 weeks ago on one of the Thursday shows, weren't we? I don't know if any Revell Hobby in Sweden have one. The reds are smaller, are actually.
And Clint says, oh, by the way, I've been at your Telford Picks thread.
Yes, I did see that. We'll have a look afterwards. I was looking at that a minute ago.
Some very young Phil on there.
There is a very young Phil, and it was only taken 2 years ago. Don't you age well doing this? Question: what is the best F-35 out there?
What scale?
I was going to say that's a bit broad. If you're talking scale-wise, I've built the 72nd one. I think that's one of the best 72nd scale kits I've ever built. It's a beautiful kit.
A, B, or C there?
But you've not seen the Academy one yet.
I haven't seen or built the new Academy one yet. No, I've seen the Italeri one. I say Academy's got one out now. Everybody's doing it at the moment. And 48 scale. Well, 2 options. It depends what version now. Which version? A, B, or C? It's all right. He's in the chat live.
He said those red ones are smaller than the ones we've got.
You want to see what size? Which one do you want? A, B, or C? All. Well, okay. So A's. There's a few options for A's out there. Meng's done one, but yeah. And obviously Kitty Hawk have got one, and again that's one of their first ones, and it's not brilliant. There's limiting factors, I'd say, with all of them. None of them are good, as I think, yet at it. A, B, and C, Kitty Hawk do all 3. That's the nice thing. I don't think anyone does the C type yet, apart from Kitty Hawk. So I've got the Meng one down there, but the surface detail I think is overdone. Tricky. I was thinking you might get some more people releasing them, but perhaps not at the moment. Everyone seems to have gone a little bit quiet on releasing those types of things, but yes, don't know. Any ideas, guys, helping out?
Not really, not on that, because it's limited. Limited, aren't you?
Very limited.
Really limited.
I think they've all got the same sort of faults, though, haven't they? Regardless which ones you're looking at, they all seem to be.
They all over-egg the surface detail for one.
Yeah, the
Meng one, yeah, definitely overdone, isn't it?
Yeah, the Meng one's well overdone. As weird as it sounds, I think the Kitty Hawk one is probably the best, I think, from a surface point of view. But the instructions are awful and the fit's horrible. But it does go together as long as you have it all open. If you close it all up, it's a bit of a nightmare. But generally, overall, I think the surface is probably the nicest out of the bunch. 2 a.m. here, working 6 hours. Thanks for all the shows. Flory crew, a good night, good day all. No problem. Thank you very much for joining us over the weekend.
Bye-bye.
Do we have any update on when we can expect the delivery for the Italeri 30-second Tornado?
No.
It's gonna actually. I think it is actually going to be soon, because we have heard end of November.
Yeah.
Now, this is, like I've said, Italeri we're dealing with, but it is. I think it is ready. So, rough date is the end of November.
Yes. Yeah. It shouldn't. Hopefully, it won't be too much longer to wait, and then we can all pass judgment on it, can't we?
Yeah.
For 72nd people, seriously, if you're looking for a really nice kit, and I know we got the Academy one as well, but I haven't built that, so I can't comment. But I built this one, and it was a fantastic kit. It's almost Bandai-esque the way it went together. It fell together, and it's one of those, you could do it as a weekend build. It's really that nice. It's very straightforward, no fit issues at all, and it turned out, I thought, really nice. It was just one of those ones that went together very, very nice. I haven't got many pictures. It was a really quick build. I think it was only a 4-part video build. It went together so fast on that. In fact, it was a 3-part build. So, and there's a free bit to watch down there. You can see about the weathering on it when we used oils. So some of the videos, for people who don't know, they actually have freebies. Most of them have a freebie video when they're completed in amongst it.
Just sold another 5 drills.
Oh, there we go. I haven't done the review of it yet.
Well, I know we'll have to order some more in tomorrow.
We're sold out.
Out of drills.
Unless you've got any more squirreled away in the office.
No, that's
Order a
it.
container.
We'll order some more. Did Panda models to an F-35B? I didn't know that. Did any of you?
Yeah, but I've never.
It's not good apparently. I would not. If John's put up, I would not recommend the 48 Panda models F-35B. I didn't even know they did one. That must have been one of the first ones then out, was it?
Yeah, I think that was more based on the prototype one, wasn't it? It was a bit like somebody else did one. It was more the prototype one. Panda, actually, there was a rumour going around. We're doing a 32nd one, weren't they? But obviously, Italeri did it, but they were doing a B.
Right. Okay.
Well, obviously, Italeri's done the 32nd A, but there was a rumor going around that Panda were doing a 30-second B, but never seen the light of day, as far as I know.
Why is it then that the C version is really limited? Is there one in 70-second to C? I don't think there is
I
there?
don't know if there is a C 70-second. No.
So
the thing is, it's
it's an
limited because it's not, obviously the A's and B's have been sold around the world, haven't they? Where the C's in the US Navy only, by the looks of it.
Is it in service yet?
I don't think it's in proper service yet.
Yeah, but so was a Tomcat.
Orange.
And that sells in bucket loads.
Yeah.
Kitty Hawk.
I know, obviously, the Iranians had a few Tomcats, but, you know, that was very limited. But, you know, nobody else
talk
had
about
them,
that
really.
anymore. Hasegawa, 72nd F-35 A or B. Yeah, no, they're both very nice. Very, very nice. Roger says, great weekend. My notebook is full of tips and tools and now all into practice. Big learning curve. Absolutely. Can we pre-order the Tornado? We've got a pre-order for the Tornado, yeah?
It's ended. Done.
Oh, it's ended and done. Sorry, that's finished. We've had a pre-order for the discount and it's done.
We will be getting some in. To be honest with you, we didn't get a big response for the pre-order on it, did we, Andy?
No.
There was about 8 people, if that, they wanted it. Yeah. So obviously we'll get a few in for stock. But yeah, we're... Great Wall Lobbies. Right, let me tell you about Great Wall Lobbies. The container's delayed and the chances are it's going to be early next year now.
Yes.
It might be back end of this year. And I'll probably, if Gary's watching, he'll get a text come through in a minute. But the chances are it might be into next year now for it because, like I say, all the containers, everything's on a bit of a delay. So
we had six pre-orders we had for the Tornado.
6 was it? Is that ill? Yeah, but I think because of the price, I think it's, you know, it's not cheap, is it? It's over that £100 mark, which we find is.
Yeah, it's 126 quid we're doing it.
Yeah, it could be a bit of a sticky point. But I mean, if anybody does want one, then PM Andy, and I can surely get some more in. But we have shut the pre-order for that because it was up for months. And don't forget. Put the pre-order up for the Great Wall Lobby B-52 at some point, if anybody's interested.
Yeah. Is there a decent F-22 kit you guys could recommend? Again, if you're looking at surface detail in 48 scale, I still think the old Academy one.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of aftermarket for it, and it doesn't have that god-awful overdone bloody ram top. Again, it's one of those we've done a full video on it. I think it's on the freebie one. You can actually, if you go to the classic, see my classic one. I built it when Academy released it donkeys years ago.
Yeah, I mean, we had it in not long ago, didn't we?
Yeah, there it is. You can actually watch that. It's a free video to watch just there.
Yeah.
Where are we? Do you have any news on Svezda's 48 scale Su-57?
No, nothing yet. That's the Felon, is it? What they call it, John?
Yeah, the Felon is due any time, I think.
Is it? I know the IL2 single seats due out soon. 48.
They've been putting it on Facebook this last week, so it must be imminent.
All right, okay. I've not heard anything from my man at Hobbyco, so, and it's not up for, normally they have it up a little bit before to say how many do you want, you know, get their pre-orders in, so to say, and he's not said anything as it's a future release, so.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Robbie's just joined us. Well done, Robbie. Welcome to the Flory family. As you'll see, the PM area at the top of the forum has got all the pre-orders in there. What tends to happen is we get a whiff about a release or something coming in. We do a pre-order, obviously discounted price. You put your name down for it. We don't take any money there. You get invoiced when we get our grubby little mix on them. But it gives us an idea as a company how many we need to order, things like that. And then obviously we have some more for stock afterwards, normally at full price. So that's how that works. So when we're getting close, we close the pre-order. So we then put in our order for how many we want.
And sometimes there are special orders that we have to have shipped in from Japan, etc. Into like the Tammy Zeros, etc. And we have to
done it with the F-15 Eagles whenever they turn up.
Yeah, the F-15 Eagles. You thought they'd come with the Zeros, wouldn't you? But
it's getting a bit long-winded, isn't it? They all come in, but yeah. The other thing is on pre-orders, don't forget that the 110s are in now, the Edar 110s. So at some point next week, Andy will be invoicing you for them.
Mm-hmm.
So
the F-15s that we've got on pre-order, the 32nd ones, we think they've been delayed.
They are delayed.
So I don't know even if they're going to be this year at this rate, the way things are going.
I mean, I did make an inquiry to find out what had happened to them. And I'll be honest, I've not heard anything back yet, but I can chase it up tomorrow because I do need to speak to my man. Border models, Tiger 1. Are you getting them in? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would have thought we'll get them in if there's enough interest. But like, they've got a load of containers coming in for Tamiya stuff, so it could be on one of them. I don't think they know when they come in. They're just like Pete, who owns Hobby Company. He gets the email to say, can you order, put on special order, whatever many you want, or a carton, or whatever, and then it is literally, they turn up when they turn up. So,
yes,
that's how it works.
No, Neil, we don't know about the Kitty Hawk Frogfoot. To be honest, you're better off going direct to Kitty Hawk. Just saying. We've sort of had it with them because they're bloody useless as a company to deal with. Any news on the HK 32nd Lancaster nose?
No, nothing.
Again, that's fucking annoying because they're available and people have got their hands on them, and then no, apparently distributors and stockists aren't allowed to have them. Like,
Bryn's
how
asked you a question,
even a
Andy.
thing?
hey,
Bryn's asked you a question in chat. You got chat on?
I've got a million things on.
It's a good one.
3D printer. If I could get hold of any IPA, Bryn, I'd be using it lots.
Bryn will get you some.
If you can get me
He knows
5
people.
litres for 10 quid like it was before the world ended, I'd have some.
I'll tell you what, I hope he does get some because I want him to 3D print me some more figure busts off because they can get some really good ones, can't you?
Can you?
I've got half a tub here I don't use.
Yeah, I've got about 2.5 litres of my 5 litre thing. I can sell it to you for 20 quid.
20 quid.
Just say, as a mate, 100 quid. And
How much do you need, Andy?
It's an ongoing thing because you use it for cleaning down everything. Washing the actual.
It's like
final
Breaking
product
Bad.
Yeah.
He's in there doing resin in his pants with an apron
So
on.
I've got a tub with it where the stuff goes into, so you can wash it. Then you rinse off in water. But then I've got a spray bottle that you spray everything down with it. It breaks all the resin down, you see, and it's just what you clean everything down with, and so I use it for so.
Oh, Lola's awake.
Lola has awoken. She's very
That's it.
early. You're an hour early.
They say we've been graced with her present
graced
first
by-
time this weekend.
I know.
Any more news on the F40? That's Zucca that'll be coming with the.
That's coming yet. Again, though, I think it's the container's been delayed. Oh look, I've got my message. Looks like Jan 2021. I presume that's Great Wall Hobbies from. That's from. Yeah.
Right, got to go now.
Yeah,
Got to go
yeah,
back
we've
to
got one of our suppliers is starting to get Zucca stuff in, Danny.
When's
So,
Zucca coming in again?
Yeah, so once he gets it all in, I imagine that'll be similar sort of time as the Great Wall Hobby stuff, won't it, Matt?
I think actually he did think earlier it's going to be December to January again for the Zucca, but he'll message me in a minute because I know he's watching.
Yeah.
Another question here. Any restock on Ryfield models?
Wow, we're out of stock of Ryfield.
I don't know. Any
There's a
restock?
I'll tell you what, hold on. Right, F4E arrives the 16th of November.
Oh, there you go.
When you getting your Ifield stock back in again? Boy, I could do it live here. This is good. I'll just sit on my phone. And,
Just ask him a question.
It comes to something when your supplier is watching you, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll be typing as we speak. So the F4 is 16th of November, so that's pretty good, isn't it? That's not long. When's that, next week?
Yeah.
Give or take, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So obviously the delay on the Great Wall Lobby stuff, but when it's in, it'll be good, won't it? I'll be glad to get that back in. We will, really will. Oh, Ryfield will be restocked between December 2020 and February 21. So there you go. It did text me that earlier. Hopefully, if you're not doing it, you might get it for before the end of the year.
Martin's got a question. He says, Phil, tricky question, and we can do this to all of us. But what was the best kit you built this pants year? It's a good one, as in crap year.
2020 build.
As in build, as in easiest thing to go together and was a joy, to be honest, would have been this. That is the ICM 30-second Gladiator. And I have to say, it's a beautiful kit that falls together. It's not without the odd little thing, like the strengthening in the tail. We put a bar through it because it's crap. And there's a couple other little bits. But generally, for fit and the way it goes together, considering it is a biplane and you're thinking of geometry and all stuff like that, it went together exceptionally well. Very, very nicely done indeed. So this year, to be honest, I have been sort of slightly spoiled. Because when you look at what I've been up to this year... Where's my mouse? I've had some absolute stunning kits to work with and total crap. So, you know, this is my ones this year. So the Gladiator is what kicked it off the year. That was really nice. Obviously, the Millennium Falcon by Bandai is beautiful, perfect. The Bednar actually wasn't too bad at all. The Discovery was not brilliant. It's flashy and horrible because it's Mobius and that's what they're like. The V17 was really nice kit, no problem at all. And then obviously you got the VC10, which was crap. It's awful kit, but it turns out all right in the end. And then you again, the Armour Hobby Hurricanes are beautiful, but little tiny tweak when we put the wings on, fitted lovely. And a real surprise really was the Hellcat. For the price especially, because as I say, they're only 18 quid. The kit, fit and everything else is fantastic on that particular one. The MRAP that I'm on at the moment is incredibly complicated. But only a little bit flashy and little bits in there. But once you get it cleaned up together, it's all okay. But I have to say, from a straightforward, most enjoyable build this year has been the Gladiator. So
Yeah.
What's been your enjoyable best builds this year?
There you go.
That's it. Did you just put his head on?
Yep.
Or was it already pre-done?
No, I put his head on. Well, actually, I know it's not really a build, but an enjoyable project. That is really, and also I have to say my my little vignette of the truck with the guy with the bike.
Yes,
I enjoyed doing that for the wall, and also the Super Sherman that I did for the Latin American build, because that is not really my thing for doing, you know, obscure schemes. But I really enjoy. I mean, it's a Tamiya kit, so take that. But I enjoyed doing that paint scheme and weathering it and making the little base.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Very nice. Andy, what about you?
I'd say my favourite one this year was the Airfix Warhawk, which probably the easiest one I did this year, but it's probably the best engineered Airfix kit I've built. Goes together really, really nicely. And I did it in the desert camo scheme, so that's something a bit different, and I really enjoyed that one. Nice kit.
And you didn't break the canopy.
And you didn't break your canopy, yeah.
If I stick my fingers up, do you demonetize?
What, 2 canopies?
Yeah.
Or just the one? Nathan, what was yours?
I think the kit that I probably most enjoyed was my little Red Baron for the movie.
You've got a big Red Baron building.
Very fragile. A little bit of the elastic's gone. Repairing. The stand-up, just easiest kit I've built all year though goes to the Tamiya, the 72 scale Mustang. Tiny little thing,
Cool.
but it's a Tamiya kit, so obviously the decals were awful, but the kit was brilliant. And the kit that I've most enjoyed, I don't know, the F-16 that I did, the kinetic one in the end. The end result is probably the one I'm most happy with because it was horrible to build. But the F-16D I did for the Latin group build, the Chilean one, well, that fought me every step of the blooming way.
Very nice. John?
I'm glad it's done.
First one's probably that one.
Yep.
Because it's Tamiya, so I mean, it just fell together. That was for the Bulge to Berlin group SIG. But the one I enjoyed the most, funny enough, was the last one I finished, which is the Little Harrier.
Yep.
Yeah, cracking kits, them Airfix Harriers.
They are.
They are brilliant.
Like I say, I built the GR1 and then it was great. It was a great little kit. Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a shame you can't get them anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Well, if you get the GR3, that one we can get in. The GR1 we can't get anymore, I'm afraid. But yeah, just re-ask the questions unless anybody's seen them on chat. You've had a couple of questions, Phil, but they've gone. Just post them up again, and then we'll read. One, I think one was for you. Sorry, Phil, with the Gladiator, and how did you attach it to your base? But I don't think you have you?
It's not. No, that's not. It lives in a case. I've got one of the display cases for it. So it normally lives in there. I got it out because I don't know if you've noticed, no one seemed to notice, but every day I had a different model here. So we just got that one out for today. Is the IPA for cleaning out the Procom? No, it's for cleaning out and doing his 3D printer.
What's Mr. Hobby Leviscus? Does anybody know what that is? I don't know if we could get hold of that.
I was looking at that. I have no idea what that is.
I've not heard of it, and I don't know because it could be a labelling thing. I'd have to have a look into that and make a note of that, to be honest. Ali B wants to know, hi guys, where are the rules for the GB and SIGs posted on the forum?
Yeah, Tim's just put that up for us.
All right, okay, that's good.
Can I ask you a quick question, Matt?
No.
Did the A model Milmar 10?
Yes.
Is that a standard size box?
No. Get your box down for your MI6. John?
Yeah?
Get your box down for your MI6. It's in the same size box as that. No, it's not. It's going to be courier, mate.
Yeah, it will be. It's huge. I've got it.
Yeah, definitely a courier. That's bigger than a small parcel, I'm afraid.
What's the best F5E Tiger 2?
Just text me a figure, Matt.
Yeah, will. It says it's an anime skin colour. I don't think they do Leviscus. I don't know, to be honest. It's something I'd have to check, Steve. Do you want to send me a PM or an email at sales app? PM models. Don't put it in the PM models one. Do it to the sales app because it's going to get buried with sales.
Did any team member build the 48th Mustang Airfix P51D?
Built that one.
Built the Tamiya.
Franjit did.
Built loads.
Franjit's built loads.
Oh yeah, Matt, they're colours for use for the skin on figures and plastic models of characters.
Yeah, they are. We just said that.
Oh right. I don't know if they stuck it over here or not, to be honest.
Right, if you're going to build an F5E in 48, what are you going to buy?
An F5E? Oh, well, if you can get it, the FV Club one, but it's hard to get hold of, isn't it, Phil?
I have one in front of me as we speak.
I have one as well.
And then the other one would be the Kinetic one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a poor relative.
It is. I think the AFE one is the nice one.
Yeah.
Again, they're all a little bit modular, but yeah.
AFV Club's the one, and Bryn's put it up on chat as well. Yeah, it's definitely a good kit. It's just getting it, I think.
Who's the other one, Matt?
Bronco. No, Bronco didn't do one either, did they? Haven't reboxed, have they?
I don't think so.
To be fair, I've built the Kinetic one, and I thoroughly enjoy building it. It's not as detailed as the AFE Club one, but it was a nice build. That's one of my favourite builds. That was. That's when I did the
Airfix Victor.
It's gone out of stock. No, it's
Yeah.
been discontinued. I've had a look actually this weekend to get some in, and it's gone. It's finitoed.
Finito.
Finito.
One for Andy. He uses meths instead of IPA. Works great on his Photon and Mars.
Meths.
Why don't you just use pure vodka?
Yeah, I was going to say, bit of Smirnoff.
Just get the cheap Asda vodka.
Meths, right? Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Neil says, Phil, any idea when you'll be doing your Tamiya 30-second zero? No. I don't think it'll be this year, not now, because obviously here we are into November. I'm still on the MRAP. We've got the Bowcaster to go through, and I've got the Star Trek ship thing.
I've not even looked in the one I got yet. Did I get the army one?
So I think I'm running out of time.
Mm.
It might be first up next year.
SIG. You got the Navy one, you could do it for the SIG.
That's a good point. I could just hold out and do it for the SIG. Good. Ooh. Any news about the, I think it means the Hasegawa KA-52?
As a gal, full stop for us game. It's just
Yeah.
yeah.
Most enjoyable build for ZD433 was the Academy 144 Lancer B1B, the Bone. My favourite build of the year was the Tamiya BF109 G6. Awesome little kit. Can't recommend it highly enough.
Yeah, it builds brilliant, but just get some decals from somewhere else.
Yeah.
They were shocking.
Cute puppy. She's not a puppy. She looks like a puppy, but she's not a puppy. Was she down here in the background? Yes.
How are you going to do the Aztec on the Enterprise, Phil?
That's very easy because a kind member sent me the decal, masking set for it. That's how I'm doing that.
Very easy until he tries doing it.
Yeah. So that's how we're getting around that little problem. Matt, have you done any 1/6 scale figures, or do you paint flesh tones differently in that scale?
1/6.
Yeah.
I've never gone that big. I'll be honest. 1/10 or 1/9 is the biggest I've done. To be honest, like I say, the Richtofen bust was the first one we're doing it with oils, and then before that, the Cowboy bust is the only other bust I've really done. Because I was mainly just working in obviously 35th for going with armour and stuff like that. So again, I would probably go the oil route, acrylics based and oil for that something that big.
Yeah.
I think you the bigger you go, the more realistic I suppose it's got to be, in it.
Mm-hmm.
I know it sounds daft, but
Yeah.
I've never tried anything that big, not yet. I'm still.
When you get so big, instead of using oils, you'll be using Revlon and Max Factor.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. It'd be like doing a mannequin, wouldn't
Yeah, that's it. What have we got there? Hi, what is the best and easiest A10 Warthog kit in 1/72?
Academy,
Yeah, we were saying Academy the other week when we were discussing them.
if you can get it again.
Yeah, again, bit of a trouble getting hold of Academy at the moment.
Yeah.
Apologies for the gnawing sound. It's the dogs are now decided both of them to bring their bones in. So it's like both of them are literally down there, one there and one there. They're both chewing on the bones. Brilliant.
Yeah. They're getting hungry.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're hinting clearly. Hi guys, enjoyed the shows. Wish shipping wasn't so expensive from your island because I want some of those sanding sticks and washes. Hope all is well. Can you guys recommend a P26 pea shooter kit?
Oh God, what scale? I know Asagawa did one in 32nd ages.
32nd, yeah, that's going back.
That's going back, yeah.
And then if Matchbox did one in 72nd back in the day, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know of a modern kit of a pea shooter. Somebody shout up for us in chat, because I've stuck with that, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's got me stumped completely.
You know, I'm thinking like Special Hobby, Sword, MPM, them sort of people would probably tackle it in. I don't
It
know.
says Academy for a 32nd pea shooter.
Oh, Academy. Again, I don't know if that's not a pea shooter.
That's not a pea shooter, no. But
No.
that's a question that's coming up. Nobody there has ever tackled a 100th scale airliner. I can't remember what scale that is. I think it's 144.
Academy did a 48th pea shooter. Cheers, Fred.
Oh, there you go.
He's probably got one. That's why squirreled away in his stash. Revel re-released the Matchbox one.
But yes. So there we go. I do occasional things like that. Once in a blue. Italeri A10A or the C converted back to the Hasegawa A10 is a good, and the Academy is about the same. Well, we talked about the 72nd ones, yes. Question: any news from Kinetic? The likely arrival date of the Harrier GR13. I'll tell you, I think this year, you know, we normally do our like New Year's honours list. I think we could do another one for companies who have been complete arses this year.
Yeah.
About telling people some things and getting information and actually getting kits to sellers and stockists and people, because it seems more important for them to get them out to the influencers of this world and selling to weird people and stuff than it is to actually go through the official channels. So that would be a new category for this year.
So we're having a raspberries.
I think we should have we'll come up with something very witty for it. So
yeah, I tell you what though, you're not wrong with what you've just said.
It is annoying.
No,
I tell you what annoys me most is people come to us for information and the various things about it, and we are the last to know with these companies. That's the whole point. It's like they're in their own little world, and it's
apart from with Gary, we'll give Gary at Tiger Hobbies.
Tiger Hobbies with Gary at Tiger Hobbies has always been a complete open book with us, but everybody else is like,
it's like pulling teeth, isn't it? Trying to get from them. Yeah.
And then the worst thing is for us, you find that the company is selling to certain people and not to others, and it's like, so what's going on?
Yeah.
We will be naming and shaming this year.
Yeah, we will. And it's not like we want freebies or anything.
Yeah,
is
we
it?
do buy it. We buy everything we do. So yes.
You'd think they don't want to sell kits, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I feel that, doesn't it?
Yeah. Before it goes, Danny's asked me, do anyone know 135th or 116th kits of cowboy or western subjects? So I presume it's like the Wild West. Master Box do some figures.
Yes.
And also, if you don't mind doing 32nd, which is 54mm. Oh God. Oh, I'm gonna put the name. I've just blanked and do a load of cowboy figures. I'm gonna have to. I'll look it up. Oh bugger! It's quite a big firm as well. They do paint. Oh, Italian firm, I think they are. I can see the little dropper bottles.
Andreas Miniatures.
That's them. Andrea Miniatures they do like Clark Gable and quite, I think they do John Wayne and characters from westerns, but they do a cowboy on a horse and and I'm presuming Jack that some of the others might know. Yeah, look, Easter eggs to cowboys, do they? The Master Box. So yeah, there is a few out there, Andrea. So
one of the guys has posted on the chat and put a link up to Amazon for IPA, 5 litres, 22 quid. It's definitely coming down in price. Problem is like before all the world changed, it was like about 10 quid for 5 litres, and
well, depends on how you feed it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't at the moment, do I? So
okay, Rob saying here he's loving the new line of deck guns from Tackham.
Yes.
It's a cool idea. I think it's quite nice with that one. Apparently, isn't ICM got one in the pipeline? Are we talking about a pea shooter? Maybe. It's their type of thing, isn't it?
Who's that, sorry?
ICM.
I tell you what, it wouldn't be a bad chat, would it?
And it's right up their street for what they do, so wouldn't be surprised at all if it didn't turn up.
I tell you what, it'd be a nice kit as well, wouldn't it?
It would be. If ICM did it as well, it'd be really nice.
Yeah.
Would you say there's a skill difference involved when moving from 72nd to 48th planes? I would like to try a few larger ones, concentrating on 172nd exclusively so far. I don't think there's a skill change. It's just you'll treat it a little bit different because it's bigger. So perhaps when you're doing your building, you might do it slightly in different ways. So, for instance, when you're doing small 70-second stuff, it's literally a few steps to get the fuselage halves together and you get the wing on. Whereas obviously when you're moving up to the bigger scales, there's more detail, so you might be involved a little bit more working. And if you've got engines, you might be painting them separately before installation. You might want to do wheel wells and sort them out and various sections. So that's all it is. It's just you're getting a little bit more involved normally the bigger the scale you go up. But from a skills point of view, you know, sanding and filling, and you know, if you have used fillers and things like that thus far, that'll be exactly the same. You know, and from generally going from 72nd to 48, it's not a massive jump. It's just slightly bigger because, you know, we spoke about it before. If you take a 72nd scale flanker, that's the same size of a 48 scale F16. You know, there's not a lot of difference in overall sizes and things like that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's a problem. I would say go for it. You'll be absolutely fine.
Did we answer?
On YouTube, Molly, thank you.
Did we answer Rob's question about do we think Kitchell will ever release the 72nd C-17?
Connected. Excuse me one moment whilst I just repeat. Oi, get on.
Connecticut.
I think it was Connecticut you were going to do it, so I don't know, that's gone a bit quiet. And then, have you seen Mark's question? Can you put a date on your video builds? I'm always curious as to how long ago you did them. I know the classics are over 10 years old, or interested in the newer builds.
Well, they're basically in order anyway of date. So if you're thinking we do 12 to 15 a year, that's how they're sort of running. So when you do go down through the listing on the video builds, you've got, apart from obviously some of these are slightly in different orders down the bottom, but the lower ones, you know, these are a few years ago, and as you're making your way up, yeah, they do tend to get to this year. So these here are like last year's. That'll be the years before, the year before that, the year before that. Literally, that's how they're sort of running through on there. If you look on the newer ones on the YouTube listings, it will have the date on that probably. Where was we? We had another one there. What was that? Looking for advice on the Douglas Dauntless kit. Any advice? Yes. He's looking for one of them.
I'd get 48.
Yeah, I think so.
Accurate miniatures ones the best.
Yeah.
Academy's reboxed it. Italy's reboxed it.
I was going to say Italy reboxed that one, didn't they?
Yeah, literally, I bet he's got a squadron of them squirreled away.
I was just saying what I've got at the side of me, but I've only got
also, sorry, Eddard's reboxed it, the Dauntless. So that's one of their limited editions. And
yeah,
also,
I've got the Eddard one.
Yeah, and also, actually, I'd say that's an Avenger.
One of them inside of me, and I've got.
That's an Avenger.
One of them inside of me.
That's an Hellcat.
That's Helldiver. Have you got a Dauntless?
One of them at the side of me.
Yeah, have you got a Dauntless though?
Yeah, it's under there.
Robbie B was offered a 132nd Italy Tornado from Italy.
Okay,
Why? Is Robbie is he what do they call it, an influencer?
Influencer.
Is he an influencer? Apparently there's loads of pea shooters from Hobbymaster on Google. Dogs speak without barking, Phil. Oh yeah, they're both in here. You know why? 'Cause it's getting near 5 o'clock and they have their dinner just after 5 and they know it. So I've got one now sat in the doorway giving me e-balls and the other one's lying right here. Been using Master Tool Nipper for 4 weeks now. I wonder how I ever got along without a proper cutter. Well, world of difference. I can't imagine the God Hands or Display being even better.
Yeah, they are.
They are.
Yeah. But you pay for that.
I was going to say, the difference is you've got, how much are they, 12 quid?
Yeah, there was that
12, 15 quid.
12, 15 quid versus 80 to £100. So literally what you're talking about is these ones, is how close you can cut a part off with no cleanup. So like a God Hands one, you can go in and cut and it has no sprue tab at all. It is completely flush. That's the difference from what you're paying for. But again, I think the God Hands ones, because I've got one down there, they are just over the top. I've got them all literally from the cheap ones, the display ones and everything. And you can see a natural progression, but it's a bit like computing. It's bang for your buck. That's the difference, you know. Where's the sweet spot for a good tool that does a fantastic job, you know, versus quick swipes with a sanding stick and you're good to go afterwards? That's the
If I put the overhead on for a second, I'll show you where the God Hand has paid for itself. Now, the real price for a God Hand is about the £40 mark, but without proper distribution to Europe, they end up being 60, 80 quid, don't they? So that is a superstructure from a Yamato. There's a Tamiya paint pot for scale. Is it focusing properly? The God Hand, I couldn't have done that without a God Hand nipper, because to have to cut and then sand all these parts would have driven me absolutely potty, literally. But that's what you pay for when you get a God Hand nipper. Every part on there was just nip, and maybe where it was a rounded edge I needed to sand it. But this one here, it's not as good, it's not as refined. So there is a difference, but for the price this is brilliant, because I've used this where I daredn't use a God Hand.
Yes.
I wouldn't use my God Hand nipper on Airfix plastic.
Oh God, no.
But this Master Tools, I'll use that on Airfix, just because if it does break, I'm not going to be in tears.
Yeah,
I think the biggest difference for people, though, is that if you've never used a single blade nipper, they are like a breath of fresh air, because you're used to it being crush cut. So you're into that sort of world where every time you cut a part, it pings off. And because it's doing it, you get like a stress fracture. You get the white bit as well, where it gets to a certain point and it's not cutting anymore. It just fires it out because of the wedge shape. When you come into a single blade cutter, you've got this nice thing about it's that. So you've got one coming in. It's a nice clean cut every time. So, you know, that's the sweet spot with them.
Heaven forbid, if I ever broke those, I would buy another pair without even blinking. I mean, they cost me 70 odd quid with the customs charge on it as well. But I wouldn't hesitate to get another pair.
I broke my first pair and ended up buying Nathan's spare pair.
Yeah. So I got mine in Japan for 35, 32, 35 pounds.
Yeah, and it was. But I must admit, we brought a few back from Japan as well, didn't it? A couple of years ago, and those worked out £40 each.
Yeah.
That was Nathan. We need to vote for him to go back to Japan again.
But it's one of those things. It's a little bit of an economy. When you look at it, like 15 quid, you know, technically these are sort of, what are these, 35 now, display ones?
35, 40 quid, aren't they? I don't know.
35, 40 quid. You've got God Hands, obviously, in the UK. It is that natural progression. It's, you know.
What we need to try is obviously the Mr. Tool single blade nippers, because that's supposed to be new and improved.
Yes.
So we need to get some of them when we can get hold of them and see what they're like compared to. I think obviously they're going to be a step up from the Master Tools one, but compared to the display and
yeah, because I've got one here, but they've discontinued this now. But this one, like I said, this is pretty much getting close to the display one. Yeah, that's not far off the display one, that one, because that's the Mr. Hobby plastic single cutter.
Yes.
So yes, I've got them all.
Mark says that I'd never pay 80 to 100 for a pair of nippers. They seem to break, cutters, they seem to break easily. They do, but it's because it's very, very hard steel, isn't it? So it's like brittle, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've had these now for 3 years, 4 years, 3 years. I put them in the little leather pouch thing every night, put them down, keep them safe. You're not supposed to cut clear parts with them, and they do say anything up to 2 or 3 mil. I will only use them on when they're designed to be used. Yeah, they are very brittle.
I think
these ones, because I was using and abusing them, I actually bent the blade on the trumpeter ones and managed to bang it back into shape, and the God Hand would have snapped. So that tells me these are made from a softer metal.
Yeah.
These God Hands, after 3 years of good amount of use, they're still as sharp as the day I bought them. They've not dulled at all. But I wouldn't, £100, I wouldn't spend £100 on them now.
Gary Norris has said, I don't know about the team, but I'm suddenly feeling very sleepy.
Yeah, I'm knackered.
Oh, all right, we've only got 40 minutes left.
That's it. You only got 40. They got 40 minutes of the sale price left. Grab
That's
yourself.
Finished.
Then it's
It's
done. The
definitely
sale
felt
will
like a-
finish. Well, I
definitely
might
felt
close
like
the
a
store
Telford
for a
weekend.
week so I can catch up.
Yeah.
Oh, they got down SPN-120s.
Yes.
Yes.
The-
They are.
Yeah.
We just need a proper distributor in Europe. They don't seem to have distributors outside of the Far East at the moment.
The mental tiredness
Yeah.
roller
Hold
coaster.
on.
Felt
Hold on a
like.
minute. Gary, you need to import Godan tools. You could sell loads of them.
That's it.
I think Godin's definitely regarded as the best nippers. The SP20 is definitely the best nippers that you can get in the world, aren't they?
Yeah.
But it's obviously the price that puts everybody off, especially over this side of the.
But it's not just the nippers though, because I know Nathan's a bit of a fanboy of Godan, aren't you? Because you've got the scriber, is it? You've got.
Yeah, Chris is off. See you, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Bye, Chris. Thank you. Oh, he's got to go back to the wife.
Oh,
Fair enough.
To be honest, just Japanese modelling tools in general, isn't it? Seem to be so much better quality.
Mark says uses Games Workshop cutters. I've got them, and I've got quite big hands, and I still find them too big. They just open up too wide, and
Got them
you
too.
can't just pick them up and use them.
I'll tell you what though, there is the Tamia, because these were the original pointed.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They are.
The
Yeah.
Tamia ones, but these are obviously double bladed, single blade. And I think if Tamia did do a single blade nipper, it's like Carlsberg, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the trumpeter tools and the Godans are virtually the same size. Dimensionally, they're almost identical.
But these are brilliant for just generally snipping off screws, to be honest, as long as you don't be too close, because like Phil said, it's pings off. Or
Yes.
there's a lot of stress.
Yeah, so look, we've got the Tamiya ones. We've got, me and airbrushes and me and side cutters, isn't it? It's like,
Same with side cutters. I've got loads of things.
So, yeah, it's one of those things, though. You go for what you can do, but obviously a single blade nipper, I think, is a far superior over the dual ones. This one, the Games Workshop, this is great because when I was doing the Mac 2 kit, that's what I was hacking it off with, and a saw, because some of it you literally had to saw through it as well. So this is great for heavy duty plastic, and most of the Games Workshop kit plastic is very heavy duty, so you wouldn't use these with it because you're going to end up breaking them.
One of my favourite pairs I used to like were these little things that the blades are knackered on now, and they're only just normal ones, but because of the size of them, they're dead tiny, and they just sort of like fit in your hand really easy. And I wish you could find a decent pair of this sort of size where you can just just.
Okay, I'm using, just because I can't do anything else with the Yamato now, switch back to an Airfix kit. I'm back to the Master Tools cutters, and they're brilliant.
Yeah, someone says how many kits you got on the go at one time because you were doing a ship yesterday and now you're doing an aircraft.
Yeah, it's just I can't do any spraying while we're doing this live show because just the noise. So I've done Airfix. This is my sort of shelf of doom Airfix GR. It'll be a GR9A Harrier that just got stalled. So
there you go,
Can't
Gary.
use Godans.
If you get the Zucamori side cutters in, apparently they're all right.
I think he's actually bringing them in. Watch it. Hold on. It
Allow
says,
for the lag.
send me the detailed link to their website.
what we've got done.
Yeah, hold on. Let me
Half
read
hour,
it.
dude.
Yeah, I'll do this live.
You've got to wait.
Send me detailed links to their website. We're also going to stock the full range of Zukimori tools. Ooh,
Of who?
Zukimori do it. Hey, up. Your friends come to knock on your. You said just a paw.
Oh, no.
Ah, brilliant. Molly.
All right, she's attacking Lola. It's fine.
Yeah, so
Not in here,
Zukimori
you two. Take it outside if you're going to play.
So yeah, we'll probably be stocking them, won't we, Phil? To be honest, I would have thought.
Yeah.
And now Randy's googling Tsukimori tools, look, because he knows he wants some.
I will
You
straight.
taught me how to buy something else earlier. I've got some more money.
Can't beat. I mean, any single blade nipper is going to feel like a massive step up.
Tell you what, though, if somebody did import the Godham's one, they would.
I'd get a spare.
It would sell well. Honestly, I think it would. I know they're not cheap, but
It's like the thing you buy a pair of nippers and they last a long time.
yeah,
But don't drop them. Don't murder them. It's like a really good quality brush. You look after it, don't you? Because
Yeah.
you can wreck a brush in a day, can't you?
yeah, Phil.
Me? Why is it always me that murders brushes?
Because you are the brush murderer. That's
Yeah,
why.
right, okay, I am the brush murderer. It's because I don't really use them. That's the thing, isn't it? Because, like, the airbrush, I look after. All right, I'm not that good with the airbrush either. But,
Come on, you need a better example than an airbrush.
yeah, all right, I won't use an airbrush as an example. I look after my... yeah, I don't really. The thing is, it's your tool, isn't it? And it's your work and your job. So I use a tool. I don't mollycoddle it. So, you know... Although I am good, because like with my God Hands ones, yeah, speaking of that, I only cut small stuff with it, because I know for a fact I will crack it. So I am pretty much use that for very fine, detailed stuff only. I use the display ones pretty much for everything. They're pretty good for any type of thing. And anything big and chunky, then I use the old James Workshop pliers, whatever.
Pliers.
The Tsukimori brush I gave Phil seems resistant. That's good because I don't use it.
Then
I use it for demonstration purposes. But look, don't use it. I might break it. So it was a gift. That's why I'm good to those. Mine, yeah, this cake. That's one I ruined earlier. All my bristles are in the brush. They just don't necessarily point in the same direction. Yeah, don't cut rodent plastic with God Hands. They will break.
Yeah.
So I use my Master Tools one to do the Special Hobby kit. They're the only cutters I used on the Special Hobby kit, and they stood up to some serious abuse. I would give them a thumbs up.
Like Neil says, my orange scissors is about the only thing that I've never destroyed. I've had these now for best part of 30 years, and they do everything. And still to this day, they still cut everything that I use. They're still going.
can we have a last look round the sales sites, Phil, before we...
I've done it. It's there. It's waiting for you. Look. Look at the screen.
Grab him.
Oh, yeah.
See? Nice to see he's paying
I'm looking
attention.
over that way. I think I'm looking at.
Yes, look. Go on, Andy. Take him around it.
So this is our special section. Yeah, I need to bring up on my own screen so I can see what we're looking at.
So this is like the last run round of Telford when you're trying to pick someone up to spend some money for it away.
Yeah. So these are, oh, come on, I keep clicking the wrong button. So these are our special offers. These are all pre-marked down in price. Some of them have got slightly damaged boxes, which I have mentioned on it, where it says slightly damaged boxes. Obviously, quite a bit of it's selling out. Some of it's limited quantities. So Phil, your White's still there at 5 o'clock. These will be going back off sale into the normal prices.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And then we've got obviously 10% off discount off all kits, apart from Fujimi, Hobby Boss, Meng, Mini Art, rifle models, and Trumpet, which we've got 12% off. And new models, we have got 15% discount off.
Grab the new model stuff.
Very nice cards as well.
The brilliant kits. Yeah, they are.
Yes. So it's getting all your bits and pieces in there. And obviously, you know, we've got the sale on this weekend, but it is always upgraded. Don't forget, me and Matt always do our show on a Wednesday afternoon. So if you'd like to watch that, we do it as a recording purely because we have deliveries coming in throughout the show normally.
Yeah.
Although this week might be live just to make it a bit more interesting. But anyway, in there, obviously, we've got our new arrival section. It gets updated all the time of all the kits that are coming in. Various ones down in there. You can find those there. But me and Matt go through all the latest and greatest on the internet. What's coming out, what's going off. The good, the bad, and the ugly, as I say.
The classy models in the sale section bit are good value for money. They're sort of 1/16 scale kits.
Yeah,
Nice detailed, and we've got 20% off on them at the moment.
They are worth, they are the Stuart tank and the Lux, is it?
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, and that big model collect, is it? A Sean Horse tanky type thing with a big turret on it. That's massive. And
Is that what we were talking about today? One of the
the tank battleship turret. I'm sure that's it.
Yeah.
Again, that's a big kit. I'm actually surprised we've not sold out of the Tamiya Martini Porsches.
Yes.
I thought that'd be popular, if I'm honest.
Especially that price, yeah.
Yeah. Because again, I think that's limited edition. It won't be around long like the others haven't been. It's a bit Tamiya-esque. They've re-released it and get right to go again. So
they did the Jägermeister, didn't they? Now they've put this one out. And
I think they've done the Valiant, the Jägermeister, and now this is the one, the Martini one, the one in it.
Who the heck is Nunu? You haven't heard of Nunu? Nunu used to be part of Platts and...
Show them Nunu. Yeah.
They've gone their own way now, but they do some absolute...
Get on it. Where's Nunu? There. They do like the Audi R8, the Porsches up there, obviously the Beamers, the Lancia Delta.
Yeah, and they do, to be honest. Hold on, let me show them on mine. If you go to the review section, we've got some Nunu in here.
Yeah.
Crikey, he's going to struggle loading this lot through. Here we go. Here it comes. Come on, load. You can do it. There we go. So we've got the Nunu, got the R8 down there. Beautiful, good, solid colour. We've got the Beamer, the M6 review. So have a quick look at the review now, and you can see them. But they're actually really nice. Very, very nice. I think we've got any others down in here. Got the
Delta S4, which is obviously, I think, from the old Platts, but again, it's kind of Nunu's taken them over. So there's a different, I think it's the same kit, but with different livery on it.
Yeah, the S4 is a bit further up, Phil.
Oh, right, okay. But yeah, we've got all the various bits in here, as I say, for your reviews. There's literally, I think there's 560 odd reviews now.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, they're all down in here. So if you want to have a look at any of them, as I say, if you can't see the thumbnail for the company, just go in the miscellaneous area and it'll be down in there. We've got another one for tools and all the bits and pieces in there. But as you say, if you click on like Bandai in here, you'll see we've got reviews of absolutely everything. So there's tons of everything in there.
Yeah, I hope we could get some more of them. I hope Revell brings some more in, because I think it'd be good, especially like the Y-Wing and perhaps some of the figures, the Stormtroopers, I think would be really good sellers, and C-3PO and R2 units and Bob, Yeah. I think, especially the speeder bike as well, looking at that.
Yeah.
Surprised that one's not been before with the trooper in the bike.
Yeah.
That'd be cool for weathering and stuff, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. I've just got some dates here from Gary. All stock dry field containers are November, December, because I know they've been delayed. And then for the newer stuff, which I think we showed, like the Panzer III and stuff, is going to be 2020 January and Feb next year.
Yeah.
Gecko full restock, and all 4 new releases possibly late December. So that'll be the figures and the little buggies and everything. Apparently, Hobby Master diecast piece which was released 10 years ago, and HM Hobbies do a F35C version, so 50 diecast. Verifier 1/700 and 1/350 ships will arrive with his first time 20th of November.
Interesting.
Verifier, they must be quite new. I don't know what they do. And then B-Max have been rebranded Nunu.
Yes.
So there you go. But yeah, the
Cool.
new kits are lovely. They do some really nice, like you say, solidly molded.
It is solidly molded. That's the nice thing to it. All the sort of BMAX new stuff, when you look at it, you look at like the body shells, they are solid white.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they're just flimsy plastic you can translucent and see through. It's all good solid stuff. But nice detail, nice interiors and things into them. Good overall shape. Yeah, I like them.
Like I said, at 5 o'clock it all finishes. It's all automatically set to go poof.
That's it.
It will. So I could shameless plug on mine as well then. Quick, get them in. Last orders.
Last orders.
Last orders.
Got a bell. Can we ring
Yeah,
a
that's
bell?
what we need. Last orders. This is your last chance to get your discount on the Sanders. And then obviously we've got the wash sets. £10 off on the wet wash sets. £1 off on all washes individuals. And then we've got whatever that is, £8 off pigment sets and £1 off individual pots. And again, although mine doesn't actually end automatically at 5 o'clock, so I've got to manually go and do it. I'm not as posh. So yes, so you've got all of those as well to go through. So grab yourself a bargain before it all ends in, what, 27 minutes?
Yeah, 27.
Well, no, a bit less than that. Lola, you're going to have to wait. The pair of you. You see, my poor dogs need feeding. Clearly, I'm being assaulted by both of them.
Jack Mason said, just want to say thanks to Phil, Andy, Matt, Nathan and John for a weekend full of interesting info and entertainment. As a result, my weekend shift working from home has gone quickly.
There we go.
Our pleasure.
It is our pleasure. As I say, it's been real fun to have a look round this. And speaking of which, we'll do it now. There's a section in the forum which we put up earlier, and Clint's been round and scooped up a load of stuff in here.
You're going to full screen.
Let me just... Yeah, I will go full screen. Yeah, hold on, I've got to find it. Lots of new members have joined apparently today as well. So hello to everybody. Give us a few days to...
I put it in, it was in Ask the Team, Phil.
Oh, is it? Oh, no, we got Telford Pickstein here. Have you done some more, have you?
Is that one I started?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah, my fault.
Okay, on full
Didn't where I put it.
So, obviously, we've got the bit smaller ones here. We've got John. I think that was a couple of years ago. And there's us in height order.
Yeah, literally. There's Alex.
It's me and Alex. Was that last year? I don't know what year it was. Just go from the lines on my face. Oh, look, there's Andy taking it. That's got to be on Sunday, isn't it? One, the table's empty.
Sunday,
He's
yeah.
got no stock. But also, Andy's flagging.
That was a Saturday morning. What's wrong with you?
Saturday morning.
That's how I feel now.
There's me and John doing the Sullivan's impression. That was 2 years ago, that would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. John trying to figure out how this modelling stuff works.
Hey, wait there, because I've got this build for John. There it is, John.
Hold on.
Perfect tube cement, my God.
There you go. That's John. Obviously, he didn't paint it. That's Lydia's paintwork at the time, but John did build that for Lydia at the Airfix maker.
Oh, that's far too good a paint job for me.
We took in some Flory sanders over, didn't we?
Colours are accurate.
So, yes, very good. Look, here's me in 2009.
Jesus.
Wow.
Hey, where's the rest of you?
That's when I was a young lad.
Oh my God.
That's it. That's when I used to work with little cars.
How
Look,
long
there's
ago
Paul
was
in the background with his girly hair.
Flowing locks.
Flowing locks.
So
And
when's
there's
that?
the tank
09?
which we used to demo on for years and years and years.
Oh, mate. That's
Oh, you've had a hard life, Phil.
I have. Absolutely. It's what doing this does to you.
Because you
Anyway,
don't
and
go
then
outside.
here's a group shot, which was last year.
Yeah.
There we are, all down in there. Look. View from round there. That's when we used to be down the other end, when we used to have the W on the end.
Yeah.
Next to the fire exit.
Fire
And the
exit.
toilets.
Some peoples. There's John, who chased me.
Hey, look how busy it is.
It is.
We should have had virtual crowds behind us. You know, like when you do your pictures
That's
Yeah.
it.
behind your background, you should have had like a Oh, look, that's what Thingy did, isn't it, for you?
Yeah.
So this is for people who don't know. Alan made this. Alan is the creator. He was the artist who did Flory Girl for us, and he did Alex the Sander Girl, and then obviously Tracy the washed one, and then Lynn for the pigments. And Alan did this. Not only was he a fantastic artist, he was a very good modeler as well. And he did Phyllis the Plane. Unfortunately, I'm trying to think. Is it 3 years ago now?
2 or 3 years ago.
2 or 3 years ago, we lost Alan. Unfortunately, he passed away. But yeah, not to be forgotten. Fantastic. Real good blast from the past there with Phyllis. It was a shame because he did say we could have the model. But obviously, as time went and then with his passing, we don't know actually what happened to Phyllis the Plane. But yeah, unfortunately, we missed that. But yeah, speaking of the old pea shooter, yeah. There we go. Look, my intruder.
Blimey.
Crikey. So how many years ago was that one? Yeah. Oh, 18? No, it's got
wild.
18. That was well before 18. Oh, look, a very cold and frosty. I've never seen that entrance because we always come in through the back. That's the main way in.
Entrance.
Front entrance, quite a nice picture. That,
My God. Look, it's the old team. So that would have been 2010. That was the first year Flory Models had its own stand when we had the corner one. So we just had this bit on the corner. So yes, there we go. That's me and Jelly. Look, I'm looking at least 10 years old there. So, yes, very good. Very nice. Yes, there's a blast from the past. My word. Interesting. Never mind. Hopefully we'll be back there next year. But if not, we'll do this all again. It'd be great.
Yeah, if everybody's up for it, we'll do it again.
We'll do it again. It'll be fine. We've enjoyed it. We hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, join us next time. Oh no, that's the wrong show.
Oh dear.
That's it. Look, we'll put Andy there.
Chillaxing.
Good job.
Look, same as he does now, look.
Yeah, look, it's about the same angle as he is now. He doesn't move. He's always there.
That's a mixture of exhaustion and relief, that picture.
Yeah, that's definitely a Sunday afternoon. I've had enough now. I just want to go home, look.
I want to go to the pub.
It is that thing, isn't it? I think, especially for me personally, if I sit down, I know I'll not get up. And everyone says to you, like, Sunday afternoon, oh, it's quiet, sit down. And you're like, I daren't. If I sit down, my legs will literally just seize up. And at some point, you give in and you sit down and you're like, oh my God. And normally, just as I always sit down, somebody comes up and says, oh, hello, Phil. And I have to stand up again. And I feel like I'm like 100 years old. It's like, hello. Definitely feeling it. Robbie says it's been a blast of a weekend. Thank you. Phil, do they get Alpo or Ken L ration? Am I missing that? Sorry, not getting that one. Peter, thank you, gentlemen. You have made the absence of the Telford show more bearable and really great weekends. Informative entertainment, much appreciated. Well done. No problem at all.
Fun, hasn't it?
Photos from a long time ago. God, yes. Shows how long I've been doing this. Far too long, clearly. It's a bit of a shame because I was planning on doing something for sort of a 10-year anniversary of Flory Models being at Telford. For our one, I'd say I've been doing it now it worked out. It's actually 12 years I've been doing it, 13 in total. But yes, would have been nice to get back there this year. But hopefully next year, you never know, we might be there behind screens and all that jab.
Right, they're on the side of optimism. I think we'll be back next year. Hopefully, anyway.
Yes.
Lars has posted up and he says, hello guys, I've been following you for quite some time now. A couple of months ago, Matt was talking on the PM show that it must be breathtaking if you tried model kit build in 1970s and then come back to now to see how it all is. Oh my God. But you have given me the spirit back, so thanks for that. And thanks for remembering it. It's all about fun. Yeah. I have fun with it again. And thanks you. And so thanks, Matt. Thanks for that. I am now a new member, so looking forward to follow your team for updates, builds, tips and tricks.
Welcome.
Welcome. You'll
Welcome.
enjoy it. We're a good old bunch, I must admit, aren't we, kids?
Less of the old.
All right. Some of us clearly younger than others.
Just clinging on.
You know.
But yes, no, it has been a sort of a different year, definitely from this point of view. I know some of the questions earlier, people were saying about next week. Hopefully you can appreciate we've had massive load of sales, and a massive thank you to everybody who's made this possible this weekend. And, you know, we've got to work our way through these now and package them all up and get them sent out to you. Originally, me and Matt had planned to do afternoon shows with you live, you know, over the next lockdown period as we're in, but I think we're going to need at least maybe this week to get ourselves sorted and squared away and get orders out to you guys. I've got some reviews coming up for you that I recorded last week, so they'll be up with you this week, but the rest of it will just be a case of me literally getting out in the unit, getting the orders out. Matt will be doing the same, but hopefully we'll be back perhaps Thursday, Matt, Thursday night.
Yeah, well, we're on Thursday night. I mean, it's normal Thursday night, isn't it? I'm thinking if we can get on, we might do Friday. If
Yes, we'll do Friday live in the afternoon.
And then obviously the following week, then we can plan a schedule.
And we'll get into it.
And we can get on with what we've said we want to do with the projects of the MRAP, little diorama, and I'll carry on with the figure if people want. And I don't know, we'll do a bit of planning. Probably, I'll say just some planning. We won't plan it. We'll just come on.
We'll wing it. Absolutely. We don't plan anything here.
By changing working fun, right?
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah.
Gordon's got a question in chat. There's a question regarding the next SIGs and group builds. Is a dual kit permitted if one of the parts fits the criteria? I have an Academy ISJS IS 2 and a Stuka box set. Will completion of both kits be acceptable for SIGs and group builds?
If you're thinking of doing one build for two group builds, no. Or like one as a SIG, one as a group build, but it's the same model. No, you have to pick one to use for it.
Yeah, I think two kits come in the boxing, come in the kit. So you can definitely do the IS2 for the Russian combat bullet. Then you could do the Stuka for.
Yes, that would be fine.
Yeah, if he wants to do the IS2,
two separate models, yeah.
What could you use the Stuka for there?
The Stuka be cool though.
Hey?
It's like a diorama attacking the.
Molly's got a squeaky toy.
He's trying to attack Lola. You're trying to be live on air. They're having a punch up.
Yeah.
Nice. Yes, so that's the plan with that one. Nathan, I love the way you cut and glue in midair. No fear of the carpet monster.
Might have been off camera. A few things picked up.
Yeah, Nathan has the idea
with the dog food.
Diorama. He wants to do diorama with the Stuka attacking the.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. That counts. Yeah.
What did we decide with the Paris Dakar Rally?
We didn't.
That was asked before.
Did we decide if it was an African driver?
Yeah, from an African entry, then that's fine, but you can't have a European driver doing it.
Or a European entry.
Or a European entry, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Because the Kamaz do that, don't they? The Russian Kamaz trucks are brilliant at that, aren't they?
Yeah, they're fantastic. That's
so
awesome.
Technically, you could do that for the Comrade Bullock. No, you can't because it's after, innit?
Yeah, it would have been post.
I'm thinking ahead of myself there. Scrap that idea.
I'm saying that your tail's wagging again, Phil.
Yeah, I've got one black one and one white one, you see. The white one's getting mental. Yes, this is the black one, which is Lola. And we've got Molly down there who's attacking Lola. So,
Can I just say something? No, none of you are thinking this, but I'd like to thank my other half, especially for letting me do this. I know she won't moan anyway, but obviously we are all in relationships of some, and we haven't been on here, so for not complaining, usual the ladies are good, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you to mine, to be honest.
Same here. I'd like to say thank you.
Yes, and mine will hopefully be helping us nicely this week doing all the orders as well. So bless her heart. She's on holiday and be doing this. Told her I'll treat her to a good time, be fine. So yes, all be good.
The little one. So I'll see if I can grab the little one for 2 minutes.
Yes,
Yeah,
go for it.
I ain't got mine here, so I can't. She's gone for a Sunday roast.
I'll see what the little
A
one's
chicken
doing.
dinner, so I'll see her in a bit.
You don't
gonna
seem
go.
like that one because he's
No.
big and ugly.
My dogs eat Arden Grange. Molly, do you want to come and say hello?
From because it says Phil Flory, Matt
One
Bull,
first.
Andy Molyneux,
Right.
John Buller, Nathan Robinson, Living Legends. Thanks for all the time, efforts
Okay.
over this non-Telford weekend.
Mal, come on.
Hope you made it.
Cool.
Wait,
Yeah.
nearly, Mol.
Thought it's going to end up the table then. Yes,
That's
well
not
done,
gonna
Mal.
get you
Do
extra
your hair.
discount.
Do your hair. Crazy. Amazing they're the same age.
Mark said he did thank families earlier on, but I missed it.
Sorry, the chat must have gone off. Yeah,
I didn't see that either, to be honest with you.
yeah, but yeah, no. So
Yes, thank you. Thanks to our families. They are.
I've enjoyed it.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Has been fun, hasn't it, kids?
Just
That's,
I was talking to the dogs actually, but you guys are fine. Right, bugger off. Stay there. Soon.
oh yeah,
10
Mark
minutes.
says, thank you. It's moved again. Stop moving on me. Where's it gone? Yes,
Yeah.
but yes, said thank you to our families for allowing us to do it. It moved and I've lost it again.
Oops, you okay, Ayla?
I'm not used to sitting down for so long, though, I must admit.
Or holding his bladder. Or is he?
Hello, Isla.
Hello, Isla.
Hello, Isla.
yay!
Oh, no, wrong one. There we go.
Wait, very.
Mommy,
Look, our youngest member.
Mommy, the house.
That's right.
Mommy's
Mum.
in the house, yeah.
Bless her heart indeed. But yes, thank you very much for joining us over the last few days. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to everybody who's purchased from us.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Yeah.
Big thank you to you guys to keeping us all going. Thank you for making Telford weekend still as memorable as it normally is. Just haven't got the long drive home. That's going to be the weird bit.
Oh,
Across the sky.
We'd normally now be going out for a meal or back to the house for a meal.
Yes.
Hello.
After
no,
this, after we
in fact,
packed
now,
up.
mate, we'll be still waiting to get the van in to load it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, yeah. Right now, we would. You'll be sat there, packed up, waiting to get the vans in and get them loaded up and get out.
What's that?
What's that?
Yeah. A ship.
A ship.
A ship.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bless that.
What's that?
But she says that's a Harrier GR7.
And it flies, look. Hey!
Rob said his other half's been giving him the evils all weekend and eyeing his bank account.
Yes.
Yeah. She'll be all right, Rob.
Yes, we will send all packages in discreet packaging.
In brown paper bags.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because you want us to write something on the outside of the boxes so it looks like it's a Christmas present for your partners so they don't notice.
Yeah, James says we've been out upstaged.
Definitely, always.
Yes.
We always get staged.
We open the door.
Oh, you want to open the door? She's very chatty, you might have noticed.
Open the
Yes,
door.
it's that voice.
A plane.
Definitely. So, yeah.
Plane.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah, won the raffle. That's it. That's what Alfred was saying. Yeah, won it in the raffle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all these raffles they were having all weekend.
I mean, they've took John's thunder at winning raffles. Look, you don't win them no more, do you, mate?
No,
I think she got wise.
You
yeah.
reckon? What get that way?
Carriage as well.
Yeah.
Nice and warm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mommy wanted to.
There's no room for mummy.
So, we've got any more questions before we leave?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can shut everything down. Quick, lock the site, lock the stores,
Open
stop
the
all the
door.
orders.
You say you've got to take all yours off, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I've got to do mine manually. You'll see mine go off sale one after the other. It'll be lights going out. Clunk, clunk, clunk. Look, we still had another order came in literally 2 minutes ago. So they're still whipping the last ones in there. So get in there quick before it all goes.
Red.
We've got a load come in as well, haven't we, Andy?
Our last one was Gordon Massey 2 minutes ago.
Hold outside.
Yeah, there's a few.
Hold outside.
It is cold outside, that's right, Isla.
Oh, what? That.
This is why my missus is a champion, because she's looked after this one all weekend.
Yeah.
My head.
And Henry's just bought a AMK Tomcat. Good job.
Quick shot. What you got? 5 minutes.
Wait, 5 minutes to go. Last 5 minutes.
Everything was
Yes.
not quite close yet.
There you go. We give them call outs for the last orders coming in. Tim Wooten.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. If you put an order in, we'll give you a shout
We'll
out.
give you a shout out. Well done, Tim. You've just got in there.
And there, start giving him a shout out.
Thank you, Alan.
This one will be working on the stall next Telford, won't you?
Thank you, Mark.
Well,
Henry. Gordon.
Mama, come on, garage now.
And David and Tim and Paul and Ian and Richard and Sharon.
Mummy won't come to the garage, it's too cold for Mummy.
Mommy, they a house.
Oh,
got Isla doing a demo.
thank you, Jonathan, and thank you for Phil. Cheers,
No
Phil.
problem.
Bill.
Everyone
Thanks,
saying thank you, and thank you to everybody at HMH462 NCAS, I should say nowadays. Miramar says thank you and great for a great weekend entertainment. Thank you guys, no problem, and girls,
No
lovely.
problem. Our pleasure, innit?
Absolutely.
Airplane.
Airplane.
Airplanes.
Got to stop.
Like I said, if there's any anomalies with the shipping costs, Matt will
We'll sort it when we go through the orders. Yeah, no worries for that. We'll do it anyway. So, yeah, it'll be all good.
Yes.
system.
To be honest with you, I think I've actually not looked. I'm dreading actually looking at our store to see everything that's just gone. It's gonna be great.
Been locusts gone through. Yeah.
It's just, yeah. But it's been a proper good success. This.
Oh, your printer's taken a hammer in this weekend, then, didn't it?
It did yesterday. I run out, I think, yesterday when I was at work because I printed off, and then Leslie's literally going to run her mum's printer out, I think, this afternoon because it'd say, can you print off till about 5 o'clock or whenever you leave? Can you print them off and bring them back so I can go through them? So, yeah.
Mr. McCluskey's in there.
Yes.
Thank you, Rob.
Uncle John.
And thank you, John.
Well, again, I would thank everybody who's obviously been in the chat and on the YouTube chat as well. 'Cause some of them
Absolutely, yeah. I have to say thank you for the chat keeping us going because, as I say, like before, we feed off of you guys. So with your energy and enthusiasm, keeps us going back and forth. So it's a two-way thing. So thank you definitely to everyone on there. Do us all a favour, give us a like.
Yeah,
Just because see if we get over 100 likes.
yeah.
Like and subscribe.
But you don't even have to subscribe. I don't care. But give us a like. It'd be interesting to
ring
see if we
the-
get
ring
over
the bell
100
and-
likes. When
Yeah,
last time we did these, one of the lockdown shows, we said, see if we can get 100 likes, wasn't it? I think we got 120 or something. So that was brilliant.
See you later,
Yes.
Clint. You've done well. You're absolutely shattered.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Clint, David and Lynn.
Yeah, David as well.
All hours.
Yeah,
Yeah, they've done some. I mean, we're tired doing it at normal hours. They must be absolutely exhausted.
yeah.
That's it. 85 likes. It's going up. 86.
That's it. 1 minute. Minute
That's it.
countdown.
1 minute to go. Yeah, we need a countdown clock going the other way.
Yeah.
Less. But no, we will be back with you soon. So I've got some reviews coming up for you tomorrow, and then obviously be back another one up with you on Tuesday. As I say, all the shows might take a little bit of a hammering and be all over the place this week, just whilst we get all the orders out. But as I said, me and this motley crew will all be back with you on Thursday night at 7:30 live. So if you'd like to join us for that one, that'd be fantastic.
Are we
112.
all on? Hey, are we all coming on Thursday?
Yeah, we'll get them in as a thank you, isn't it? We'll all pile in.
Yeah.
You want to come on, Isla?
Isla can come in, it'll be all right. She can
Absolutely.
upstage us all.
5 p.m. The show is finished.
That's it.
Oh,
We are
Closing
done.
time.
Is that it? Is it locked all yours down now?
I'm just looking now.
I might
And
not
it's
have to do it as we come off air and go through. That's it. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us this weekend. It genuinely has been a lot of fun. Thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it again. Again, going really well. We'll do these again, be sure. Don't forget, literally in, I think it's 2-3 weeks, we're going to be back with you for an entire weekend again for the actual turkey shoot. So that's our US Thanksgiving special shows that we do all over the weekend. Again, same thing. It'll be, you know, morning, noon and night, but we'll probably do those more afternoon and night to accommodate the US side of it. So that'll be a lot of fun with that one as well. So we'll be back doing the same type of thing, but that time we'll be properly modelling. That's the plan with it, and going through with that one. So good on you. Right.
Mama.
Everyone wave goodbye. We've got to go. I know we got 134 likes.
Yay!
Honestly, thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll see you all again very soon. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Do manually.